The show starts and we see a huge village burning to ashes. The village is ruined and we see a lot of other kinds of species devouring dead people. These creatures are from another dimension and the whole village is ruined and nothing is left. Fire everywhere and wherever you see is chaos. We are going through this village when we see that some people are alive somehow, but they are severely injured. Among these people, there is a little child, and with her is someone like her big sister or mother, but they just took their last breaths and died. The girl is scared, and we see that another machine, a robotic creature, makes its way through the eating species and comes toward the girl to save her almost. The scene cuts, and we get to know that this is the start of the story of our MC Yuki, and his story of becoming the supreme commander and the hero of the story. Saying this, we see him with another girl, and she is ready to take on anyone with her sword. Yuki kneels and kisses her hand, and something huge happens suddenly. We get to the start of the story, and we are in one of the cities of Japan. Our MC Yuki is in the classroom and is waiting for the school to start. It looks like he is part of the school's janitorial group, and they are cleaning the classes before the school starts. Yuki is one of a kind, and he can do anything literally. He is good at everything, and he is the one leading the group and cleaning up all the classrooms to perfection. Well, you do have to be the best of the best to clean the classroom to that perfection, I would say. Anyway, we are here in the classroom. They just cleaned, and it is shining as it is back to the way it was when the school started. Guys working with Yuki are impressed by his ability to clean up things the way no one thought they could be cleaned, and this is the thing that makes him stand out even in this not-so-popular group. They chat when the school bell rings and the school officially starts. We see the girls entering the school, and for some reason, this scene is not a normal one at all. Miraculously, all the girls seemingly have superpowers of some sort. We see two girls, and one of them is floating and flying to the school, and the second is just very normal, but she is walking with her hands full, and she needs something from her bag, so she just uses her hair to take the thing out. For some reason, the use of hair is not so impressive. Like, what are you gonna do when a bad guy comes and tries to rob you? Smack him with your very luscious hair or strangle him with them. Anyways, the guys look at the girls and they know that these girls are the spotlight of the school, and the boys have to struggle because they do not get powers from eating peaches. So it turns out these girls got their powers just by eating some kind of magical peaches, and that is it, they are not born with them. The guys look at them and Yuki tells them that this is the reason that they have to be the best at what they do, otherwise, they are not going to be counted anywhere as even a little bit useful. Yuki is the go-to person when you have a problem to solve, and suddenly, a guy comes up to him and tells him that the button of his coat needs to be fixed as it got loose. Yuki knows what to do here as well and tells the guy to not worry about anything when he is here. Saying this, Yuki takes no more than 2 seconds and fixes his button right there and then, and this impresses everyone present. They did not know that Yuki could do this thing as well, and that he had this skill up his sleeve as well. The guy asks him if he knows all about these things from the very start or if he took his time learning them. He explains that he was a little kid when his big sister taught him these things, and from that point on, he is just non-stop learning these kinds of things, and he is just getting better and better at them with time. The guys are amazed by his dedication, but something is not right for one of the guys, and he asks Yuki about his sister. He tries to say something like, "Wasn't your sister?" when the other guy stops him mid-sentence and tells him not to ask this question to Yuki. We see and Yuki is very kind and the school starts. After school, we see Yuki walking outside the school to his home, and we see some kind of meter on the wall, and it says something like metal mishap. Yuki is walking along the bridge when a sister and a brother run past him, and this reminds him of his sister. He is thinking this when suddenly fog starts to appear out of nowhere. It was a clear day and this was not supposed to happen, but we see that Yuki knows that this is not normal and something is about to happen. He knows what this fog means, and the fog has surrounded him now. After some time, the fog clears and we see that he is in a totally different dimension. He is in the demon realm, and he knows he should not do anything and wait for the time to pass. We get to know that this thing is normal in Japan for some time, and this has been happening randomly in all of the cities. This has been happening, and random people are getting teleported through the entire dimensions and landing in a totally different dimension randomly. Now it is Yuki, and he has ended up in the demon realm, and he has to look at the manual for what to do next. We get to know that this happens because of something called Mato, and the damages and injuries caused by this teleporting phenomenon are called the Mato mishap. Yuki knows he has to be careful now, and it is written in the manual that if this happens to you, you have to be calm and stay put until the defense forces of that realm arrive to help you out. Yuki knows he has to stay here and wait for now, and he is staying put. He is trying his best to follow the manual as possible, but suddenly, a huge monster shows up behind him and attacks him. He dodges it and goes flying by the sheer force of the attack. He tries running away from the monster, but it seems that they're countless and almost uncountable at this point. He knows he is screwed in the luck section, and he has to take care of himself now. He runs as fast as he can and eventually comes to a dead end. There is no way out from here, and he faces the monsters, thinking that he is about to die, and so he should die facing them, not running from them. The monsters come up to him and are about to attack him when it hits him that he is really going to die here, and no one will remember him. These things have happened before, and a lot of people have died in other dimensions like this. He is about to get attacked when another monster shows up, and we see that it has a human on it. It is Kyoka, and she tells Yuki to brace himself as it is going to be a bumpy ride from here. She introduces herself saying that she is the commander of the 7th Defense Force, and he should do as she tells him. She is introducing herself when she gets attacked by these Shukas. The monsters have such a mellow and calming name. She tells Yuki that he sure is an unlucky one because he got attacked right away when he got here. She gets attacked, but with the help of her sword, she makes quick work of these Shukas and slices them in half, killing them. As she kills them, the monster she came here on dies by some of the other Shukas, and she is not so sad about that because she knows that it is a weak one anyway. She kills them as well and wakes up her monster that just got killed and tells Yuki to get on as they have to get out of there now. He gets on and they run away from there. They are running away when 3 other girls like Kyoka come up in a jeep and praised Kyoka for the way she took care of Shukas back there. The girl driving is Himari, the one in the passenger seat is Nei, and the one in the back is Shushu. Kyoka tells them that she could only find this guy back there and they should look for other people as well. She says this, and Nei uses her scanning abilities to see if there is anyone nearby. She does not find a human but tells them that Shukas are approaching them from behind and left. Kyoka wants to take care of Yuki for now and tells them to take care of these Shukas for her till she takes him to a safe spot. Himari agrees, but she tells Yuki that he has to follow everything Kyoka tells him to do as it is for his own good. He has to stay silent for as long as he can and not talk unnecessarily. Yuki understands and the girls get to work. He knows that he had heard about the Defense Force being very cool and very professional, but he never would have thought that these would be some human girls. We get to know that in the human world, the girls eat fruits like peaches to get their powers, and they have powers that help them in their human world, but some get powers that are so raw that they become part of the defense forces like this. So this is the defense force of the demon realm, and they are very cool for Yuki. Himari tells him again that he has to stay quiet and do whatever Kyoka tells him to, and he understands. The girls take care of the Shukas, and we see them taking them out one by one. Shushu is very cool, and she just goes huge physically to take them out very easily. After taking care of them like this, they come back to the jeep and Nei has found a human child, and we see that it is the same boy we saw passing by Yuki with his sister. He is unconscious for now, and Himari tells Nei that she did a good job of finding this little child. They start in jeep and are heading toward Kyoka when Himari tells Shushu that she is getting her stamina declined and she has to work on that for now. She knows this as Kyoka also told her the same thing before. She tells Himari that she missed the way Kyoka was taking care of those bastard Shukas, and she sure knows it. They are chatting when the boy wakes up and suddenly, he freaks out seeing that his sister is not with him. We see Kyoka and Yuki heading towards somewhere when Kyoka tells Yuki to know 3 main rules if you are the victim of the Madam mishap. The first is that you have to stay put and wait for the defense forces to arrive. The second rule is that if you encounter a Shuki, you have to prioritize your safety and run as far to the safety as possible. The third is that you have to stay quiet no matter what, and you should talk as little as possible. Our poor Yuki is not even talking, and yet he is told 3 times to be quiet. This is not fair, guys. The defense forces are just mocking the hell out of him now. Yuki understands what Kyoka told him, and they focus on the road ahead of them now. They are going when Yuki sees some Shukas, and they are about to attack the little boy's sister. He totally remembers her and freaks out seeing how close the Shuki is to this little child. He has to do something about it, otherwise she is going to die, and he does not want that to happen. Shuki attacks the little girl, and she is on the edge of the cliff as well. She goes flying, and this snaps out Yuki's soul. The girl is falling, and they have to save her or she is going to die for sure. Kyoka jumps with Yuki on the back and catches the girl in time. They land on the ground, and a huge crowd of Shukas is coming their way. She has to do something, and she takes out her sword, slicing away through all of the Shukis. She kills the ones in sight, but there are more to come. Kyoka knows she cannot fight all of them, so she makes a temporary barrier around, and it is keeping all the Shukis out. The little girl is with Yuki, and Kyoka looks at him, thinking that maybe he can come in handy here and they can all be saved. She knows her peach powers are not so great, but she came all the way here using them, of course. These are the powers that brought her here, and she cannot say that these powers are not useful. Her dream is to become the supreme commander of this defense force, and she will do anything in her power to make sure her dream comes true. She remembers what her tutor said about her. She said that Kyoka is surely strong, but the abilities she uses and the way she uses them are not so strong. She has to overcome this weakness somehow and prove that she is not weak and is fully suited to become the supreme commander. She has been on the journey to become the supreme commander, and she will not stop here. She wants to rule over all the other commanders, and she turns to take a look at Yuki. She knows this guy can come in useful and she should make use of him. She comes up to him and tells him that he has to help her get out of here, and Yuki is down. He will do anything as long as it gets them out of here alive. She is happy to hear this and tells the little girl to get away from the boy and close her eyes. She does that exactly, and Kyoka tells Yuki that he is going to become her slave and is going to fight those Shukis. This shocked the hell out of him, as he was not expecting this from her. He refuses this as he does not think that he would be able to fight those monsters himself, but Kyoka tells him that he promised to do anything that is going to get them out of here alive. He sure said that, but he has no way of believing that he can get that powerful in no time to fight these creatures. Kyoka does not want him to worry about that and tells him that all he has to do is lick her finger. Saying this, she extends her finger in such a suggestive way that Yuki is shocked and cannot believe what she is doing. He has never touched a girl in his life, and now a girl wants him to lick her finger. The thing that shocks him is the way this girl offered him to do this. He is down, and without thinking about anything else, he licks her finger. He does this and something starts happening to him. He is transforming into something huge, and all of this is very flashy. Himari and others come up and see this happening. They know that Kyoka is making Yuki her slave, and this is the thing that is going to make her even stronger than before. Yuki fully transforms, and he is now a giant metallic creature. His aura is enough to shake the entire area, and everyone can feel how powerful he is now. Even Yuki Kyoka is shocked seeing how great his powers are now, and she is excited to put them to use now. Yuki is very ready to take on these Shukis, and he goes ahead and tears through one or two to see if he really can fight now. The way he killed off those creatures, I think he is right. Yeah, I'm being sarcastic. Kyoka gets on him, and they start handling these Shukis like play toys. Yuki is tearing through all of them like paper, and this even surprises him. Himari and others cannot believe how strong Yuki is, and they sure praise his powers. The little girl is safe, and she meets her brother, who is very happy to see her here. They got together, but Shuki is still coming. Kyoka tells others that she is going to take care of them, and they should just stand back for now. After killing all of the Shukis, they are still alive, and they merge to become this huge red-eyed creature that is like 10 times the size of Yuki. But he is still confident that he will be able to take care of him, and Kyoka gets on him. The red-eyed creature makes a giant ball of Shukis and throws it at them, but they fly through the ball, landing a fatal blow to this creature's head. The head explodes open, and it is all taken care of now. Himari and others are forced to wonder who this guy really is, as they have not seen someone take care of these Shukis the way he did. The fight is over and every Shuki is dead. Himari and others tell Kyoka that they will be heading toward the dormitory now and making sure the little siblings get to their parents. But Kyoka wants them to go ahead, as she wants to talk to Yuki alone. Himari understands and they leave. Yuku turns back to normal, and he does not have a single clue as to how all of this happened and what exactly happened to him. Kyoka gets in front of him and tells him that he did a good job, and she wants him to get straight up now. He gets up and she goes ahead and gives him a kiss. This is very out of the blue for Yuki, and he is curious why she is doing this. She tells him that it is her job to reward her slave when he does a good task. She tells him that she wants him to be her slave and work here, as he will be getting rewarded like this every day after he takes care of Shukis like today. She tells him that if these Shukis were in the human world, there would be many casualties, and she does not want that to happen. She wants to become the supreme commander of the defense force and exterminate all of the Shukis so they do not have the chance to enter the human world. For that, she would need his help and his raw strength. She gets down again and asks him if he wants a reward again. He He tries telling her that he does not, but she tells him that he should not refuse her like this as her body is acting on her own. Saying this, she gets on top of him and starts giving him the tongue, and this sucks the life out of Yuki. He cannot believe this is happening to him, but he loves it. She gets up and tells him that he should join her. Yuki thinks about it, and he knows if he got back to the earth, he would be having boring days and those other things. So he would love to be here as he would be a hero here, getting rewarded by Miss Kyoka, and every day would be new. He tells Kyoka that his specialty is actually housekeeping and things like that, and Kyoka loves to hear about that. He is in, and they go to the dormitory to register Yuki as a part of the 7th Defense Force. They go in and Kyoka tells everyone that Yuki here is the caretaker of the dormitory, and this shocks Yuki. He thought he would be part of the Defense Force, but turns out that men are not part of the Defense Force, so Himari and others are excited to see him here as they have never been with a boy. They give him a lot of work right away, and Yuki freaks out seeing the way he is getting treated right away. Nei tells him that as his senior, she will make sure that he is happy and taken care of. She is an elementary school girl and his senior. What a way to have this new life handed to Yuki. MC is doing his job as the caretaker of the dorm quite exceptionally. He is right now cleaning outside the 7th Squadron dorm building, and after a bit of hard work and dedicated cleaning, it all looks squeaky clean. It is as if this place just got built, and he is the first person to show up. How ironic, ladies are the ones protecting while a guy is doing chores around the place. He is happy with his hard work. He put in great effort and the result speaks for itself. He feels like this kind of result is a reward in itself, and he cannot ask for more. Doing these chores keeps him distracted and happy. He likes this job a lot, and is surely grateful for Kyoka to get him into this squadron. A thing that he finds not so good is the view around the place. He hates the fact that the place has this devilish view all around, but then again, he is in the demon realm, right? So he does not care much about the view as long as his cleaning chores are going great. He is minding his own business, getting the hard spots cleaned when he hears a noise behind him. He turns to see, and suddenly, a Shuki is charging towards him. This is terrifying for him, and no one is around to protect him as well at the moment. He is screwed, he thinks, but takes a sigh of relief when the Shuki jumps into the protective barrier and gets electrocuted badly. MC is on the floor with a shock, but Shuki cannot get to him in this place, so he is fine. He is thinking what to do when Nei shows up behind him, all excited to see him. MC asks her what should they do about this Shuki, but this is normal for this place, as she tells him that this place is surrounded by most of the Shukist, so this thing is normal. The protective barrier does its job, and they should not worry about these. She tells her this, calling the place Yurakuman. MC asks about this Yurakuman, so Nei explains. She tells him that the demon realm is a big place, almost the size of Tokyo City, and all the places are distributed in several sections. They are in the 7th section, thus the 7th Defense Squadron. This place is the most surrounded by the Shukis, so this dorm gets attacked more than the others. Anyways, she tells him that they have skipped the number 4 for these sections, as it is a sign of a bad omen. Wasn't that the number 13? Well, who am I to say? She is excited seeing him work anyway, and finds his work quite impressive. MC thanks her as he would not have any idea about it if it were not for her. Nei wants him to never mention this again, as she is more than happy to help him. She is his senpai, and she would always help him out. MC knows she is very kind, but still. A child having seniority over him is not going to be normal for him. They are sharing this happy moment when the Shuki attacks them again, but this time, a huge blast comes from the dorm, and the Shuki gets vaporized. MC turns to see in shock who it was, and it was Himari. He tells her that she could have hit them if she was not careful, and she should not do that again, but Himari does not care. She does not like MC doubting her aim and tells him that if she were to hit him, there would be a bullet in his skull right now, but there is not. MC does not like her attitude, but tells her that she is missing the point. She is here for Nei, so she takes her and walks back to the dorm, telling MC to do his job properly and not chit-chat while working. MC gives her an attitude as well, and this hits her in the brain like a knife. She hates the fact that their caretaker is this moody and wants him to know that he is being selfish and not thankful. He should be grateful that Kyoka gave him this job, otherwise, he would have been back to his normal boring life with nothing. He is eating here, sleeping here, and doing all the stuff without paying, and he is still being ungrateful. She wants him to bury this thing in his head that they do not need him, he needs them. After being lectured, MC knows that talking to her like this is not a good thing, and he should be careful. What is with her? He is the one doing chores around the place for them otherwise. They would be living in a chaotic mess. She tells him that he is here just because their last caretaker was not remotely good. MC gets lectured like a little child by this girl, and she leaves him saying that he should start making dinner. The dinner is ready, and it all looks phenomenal. MC sure is the perfect guy for them, as all of them love this food. Hyoka finds his cooking very great and says that she is not a picky eater, but she loves the fact that they are getting nutritionally balanced meals day in and day out. That is what keeps them healthy and on their feet during the battle. Nae and Shushu like the food as well, and so does Himari, but she is refraining herself from complimenting MC. She instead tells him to do the cleaning and those spare bedrooms after this, which MC hates. Hyoka tells him to give him another serving, and he goes to get it. While getting the second plate ready for her, he realizes that he is not doing what he wants to hear and is just being a handyman. This is not him. He was here so that he could fight and help this defense squadron in their fights, but no, rather he is being the caretaker and is getting humiliated by one of the members on top of it. He goes back with the plate and gives it to Hyoka. Gathering the courage to talk, he tells her that he is here to assist her with the work, yet he finds that he is just doing chores around the place for some days, and this is not what he wants. She calmly responds saying that she will get him when she needs him, but until then, he can focus on his job as the caretaker of the place and keeping the place tidy for them. But the thing is, this is the opposite of what MC wants, so he wants to talk about it. He opens his mouth to respond back to her, but Himari uses her armed sword and puts it right on his throat, telling him to shut up real quickly. He is shocked about this, but Himari tells him that he is not that stupid and that he is questioning the commander's orders. First, MC is impressed seeing that Himari can change his arm into a sword on the go, and second, she hates her humiliating him like this without any hesitation. Hyoka wants her to calm down first. Himari puts her sword away, and Hyoka tells everyone that she knows that a man being here with them might be uncomfortable for some, that he is needed. He has extra talents, and he is the one that makes their place look like a place for some capable defense force. She wants them to know that MC is here because of her and works for her, and for that reason, she would like all of them to treat him nicely. Take that, Himari. Grab and shove it up your nose so your brain can understand what she said. But MC was not ready for what she said next. She tells everyone that if MC screws around or messes with them, she will make sure as his master to grab and screw it off. Himari likes this, and MC is shocked to hear that she is talking about maybe his private part and ripping that off. Anyways, after some time, MC is cleaning on one of the floors when he sees out the balcony Himari walking to the pool without any clothes. He takes a hard look because he cannot quite register what he is looking at. He jumps behind in fear, thinking that if she saw him peeking at her like that, she would definitely have him killed right here. He saves himself in time, but hears Shushu's voice. He sees that she is sitting right in front of him, seeing everything he is doing. She wonders if this is his real self, peeking at naked women. This is very bad for him. Shushu has the ability to change her size, and she is tiny right now. She gets back to her normal size and tells MC that it is very wrong what he was doing. Saying this, she clicks his photo in the perfect spot. MC freaks out knowing that he is in big trouble. Shushu, on the other hand, amps him up, telling him that it is going to be really bad if Hyoka sees this photo. Now MC is in genuine trouble because Shushu is going to show Hyoka this photo. He begs her to delete this photo, but she is not convinced. She tells him that if he really wants her to not show this photo to the commander, he would have to become her slave. But he reminds her that he is already a slave, but she does not care. She wants him to do whatever she tells him to do, saying that MC knows he is going to get played around like this for some time now, so he has to buckle up. She takes him to his room and asks him to clean up her room while she lies on the bed. She is talking about romantic mangas and all that while MC cleans the room. She is trying to play him really badly, and on the other hand, MC knows he is screwed as Shushu does whatever she wants with him. He knows the key to getting out of this situation is deleting the photo from her phone while she is not looking. After talking about action mangas and all that, she throws the phone by the bed closer to MC. MC sees the opportunity and wants to take it. Cleaning, he goes closer to the mobile and is about to grab it when Shushu grabs it in time. She warns MC that this thing does not look good in his hands, and she does not want to see him grabbing this thing ever again. But MC takes a look, and he is holding her undies unintentionally. This freaks her out and throws the undie away, telling her that it was an accident. Shushu does not care if he holds that or not, but she wants him to be her slave and do exactly what she tells him to. She asks her if she is not weirded out by a guy being in her room with her, but she is not. She finds him not so dangerous, and in fact, he is not a guy for her. He is more like a little pet for her, and tells him that he is their housekeeper, and this is his job to do. To clean every piece of clothing he finds. Hearing this calms MC down, and he grabs her undie, saying that he will be then organizing these in order so she does not lose them. Shusha finds this a nice opportunity for more blackmail and clicks his photo with her undies in his hands. MC did not see this coming. It took him by surprise, and he tells her that she is not being nice to him as the commander said, but she knows she is not doing anything bad to him. All she did was click his photo with her undies and keep it as blackmailing material. MC sure as hell is one dense guy. He leaves her room thinking about what to do with this situation. He knows the photo thing was an accident, and even if Shushu shows it to Kyoka, he will be fine. Walking, he hears a fighting noise coming from outside. He goes out to the balcony and sees Himari and Kyoka training together. Kyoka is the one giving Himari some fighting tips. Kyoka has the upper hand here obviously, and she does some professional maneuvers to take down Himari fairly easily. Himari, all impressed, wants to become like her, and while they are talking, a Shuki shows up. Kyoka wants to use this opportunity to teach her junior a lesson and goes to fight the Shuki to tell her how it is done. She kicks and punches him several times in a second alone and kicks down the head to exterminate the Shuki. This leaves MC shocked, knowing that he cannot risk giving Kyoka a bad impression because he doesn't want her to toy with him like that. However, Nei shows up and has something important to tell MC. She tells him that she, Himari, and the commander are leaving the place to go for a meeting, and he will be alone with Shushu. He has to keep the place intact and see if she needs anything. Nei lets MC know that this might be a great opportunity for him to get to know Shushu. We see Shushu hearing everything Nei is telling MC, and she gives MC a freaky look, signaling him that he is in for a ride. Nei is happy that MC and Shushu will be finally getting to know each other. She tells him that Shushu is a nice person and he would love her company. That is not the face of a nice person. They leave and Shushu demands from MC that he give her a shoulder massage. She is getting numb in her senses because of how good the massage is. MC is giving her the massage of her life. His massage technique has surely left her so impressed that she is forced to ask him about where he learned to give these massages. He tells her that he used to give his sister these messages. Shushu is surprised to hear about a sister, but MC wants to know about her. She tells him that she is the eldest of the 3 siblings and she grew up without a father. She studied all her life in an all-girls school, and that is why she was excited when MC came here. MC understands that maybe this is the reason she finds him strange, but she does not. She finds him quite funny and fun to play with. After a good session of massage, Shushu wants to do something else and tells MC that they will be playing video games and whoever loses has to strip his clothes. MC tries to tell her that this is not a good idea, but she forces him to play. He warns her that he is too good at the games and it can be bad for her, but she is ready. He takes the controller, knowing that he is going to destroy her badly, but we see that after a while, MC has only his underwear left, while Shushu has not taken off a single piece of clothing. He loses again, and now he has to take off his underwear. He hesitates, telling her that this is a crime if he does that, so maybe he should not. But Shushu assures him that it is fine because this is Mato, a completely separate section of the universe with no authority. He still tells her that it is not good for her if he does this right now. Shushu insists that he totally strips because she has been curious about seeing that thing all her life. She did not have the opportunity before, but now she does. MC reminds her that he is a man. What if he gets squirmy and a little agitated down there? Can she handle him? Shushu starts laughing hysterically, seeing how gentlemanly he is. But the thing is, she does not have to be careful because she is not the one in danger, he is. Saying this, Shushu gets herself big using her ability, which MC totally forgot about. She grabs MC and incapacitates him by sitting on him. She starts taking his underwear off herself, but MC tries to pull out of this, but he cannot. She is too strong and she takes off his underwear, revealing his private part. Shushu starts laughing like crazy, seeing how tiny and cute it is. MC is getting harassed by a girl, and seeing this he cannot help but freak out. Suddenly, the whole place starts shaking, and they run out to see that it is a single giant Shuki. They are attacking the protective barrier and they have to do something here. Commander and the others are still gone, so they have to handle this themselves. MC is figuring out what to do when Shushu tells him to just stay put because man is weak and just messes up things. Saying this, she turns herself huge and goes to handle this Shuki. She is doing a nice job so far. Shuki attacks her, but she manages to turn herself much bigger, so this Shuki is no match for her. MC is impressed seeing how easily she is toying with this Shuki. He goes inside the building and looks out to see Shushu grabbing the Shuki by his legs and giving him a good spinning throw. She then kicks him in the face to finish the job. MC and Shusis celebrate, but MC for some reason gets terrified and tells Shushu to look out. A much bigger Shuki appeared before Shushu and punched her in the face. She goes flying to the cliff and gets injured badly. MC realizes that the smaller one was for luring her out, and now the real deal begins. She wants to finish this while she has the chance. She uses her kicks and punches, but the Shuki finds them childish, dodging them like toys. She realizes that using her bigger form before has taken a huge toll on her body, and now she cannot waste further time. She uses her ability to get herself bigger again, but it does not work. She has used all of her energy, and now she is left with this smaller form. She has to make work of this while she can, but it is no use. Shuki humiliates her by kicking and punching her like a punching bag. A little cloth of her tears goes flying toward the dorm. MC knows she is in big trouble, and he has to help her somehow. Hyoka is not here, so he cannot transform without her help. But it clicks to him. He remembers that licking Kyoka's finger turned him into a beast, and he has to do the same thing but Shushu. He runs to her room and finds the thing that belongs to her. Taking her shirt, he licks it, and he changes for a second, but back to normal. He finds something else, and licking it only changes his foot, before it turns back to normal. He looks for something much closer to her and notices her boots. This forces MC to think about himself as a person, but there is nothing else he can do right now to help Shushu. He is going to bury himself much deeper with this. Shushu is going to use this as well as blackmail. He takes the boot outside and licks it, which changes in half into the beast. Shushu, on the other hand, is on the edge of her life, but seeing MC charging to help her gives her a little boost of adrenaline. MC only has one punch in him, and he has to use that to its fullest, so Shushu has to hold the Shuki in place for that. She does it, and MC jumps in for the fatal blow to Shuki's head. He does it and kills the beast for good. MC changes back to normal, and Shushu asks him why he did what he did. He wanted to prove her wrong, that men can do things women cannot. He is naked, and his private part is fully charged, which makes Shushu blush. After the commander gets back, she helps MC treat his back and tells the girls to help their caretaker while he is in pain. Shushu comes to him and shows him the picture she got of him when his tiny part was very hard. Here we go. We see that in some other sections of the Mato, the defense force is totally wiped because of a very new kind of Shuki. This is not a normal one, and this one is controlled by some girl who sensed MC nearby. She likes the fact that MC is here and plans on giving him a visit. Being hugged tightly, Kyoka sits as a big monster with a big thing similar to a weeby walks towards her. Something the weebs do not relate to because of their fat stomachs in the way that they can't even see down there. Kyo looks at it with tears in her eyes, terrified because the monster's eyes are red sitting there while she narrates that this is her path. Meanwhile, little Yuki has his eyes fixed on his phone and says that this is his story while he stands in the middle of a random street. Coming back to the present day, a big black hole opens up, and it looks like a warp. I'm sure you thought about your mama too. A lady walks out of it and comes down the stairs. She says thank you for their hard work while leading the way like a total mommy. Yuki stands there while she passes by him, and then she says to Yuki that she is going to perform some formalities and tells him to wait for her outside. He looks at her and says, "Yes, ma'am." Going to Yamagata Gate, Yuki observes that the 5th SWAT gate is connected to Yamagata. He realizes and says that it just took a few seconds to get to Yamagata Gate. Yuki finds interdimensional travel super cool, and he seems so amused by it. Suddenly, as he was lost in his thoughts, the lady walked out. It was Kyo, and she said sorry to him for making him wait. Yuki turns to her and stands up from his leaning position, and as he looks at her, he gets lost in his thoughts again. He thinks she looks so beautiful and keeps staring at her. While Kyo notices that he is quite literally staring at her and asks him what is wrong. He panics but covers up and says that it is a day off, and that is why he is feeling so good and lively. Yuki was literally so excited that his arms were wide open. Hearing him, Kyo says that if he works too much, he will collapse. Then she walks in his direction and pats his back while she tells him that since it is his day off, he needs to make sure that he gets to breathe some fresh air. Yuki walks behind her and he says yes, ma'am, once again. This soldier does not realize by his one mistake that women would dominate the world. He walks with her, actually behind her, and wonders that she is a very beautiful woman, and he can't really take her eyes off her. Yuki looks behind her, and then she tells him to keep her eyes forward and not at her exotic self, as if she were reading his mind. Hearing her, Yuki says that he is sorry and runs up to catch up with her pace. Then he asks Kyo where they are going. She turns back and listens to him, ignores him, and keeps walking. On the other hand, Shushu is looking for Yuki and calling his name out in the entire place. She enters a room where Nae was working and asks her if she has seen Yuki anywhere. Nae turns back to her and says that Yuki is out with the commander lady today. Shu did not know about that, and she was confused about it, so Nae explained to her that Himari was taking them to Yamagata Passage along with the patrolling. Hearing that, Shu looks at her phone, which has a cat wallpaper, and says she gets it. Going back to Yuki and Kyo, they have reached the Madame Mishap Memorial Monument. Both of them are standing together, and then Kyo says that in the Gassen Uezawa incident, dozens of Shukis wandered out into this world. Further, she tells him that one of them was very strong. She remembers it even now very clearly. Kyo says that he had an abnormally developed horn on the top of his head. I have it too, but a little lower after seeing your mama. She calls it Unihorn. Kyo continues and says that she thought that the Shukis were defeated after the Demon Defense Force arrived on the scene. But now, when she read the records, only Unihorn escaped back through the gate of Mato. And she gets angry thinking about that. Yuki ponders over what she told him and says that it means that Unihorn is still alive. Kyo says that only Unihorn is the one Shuki she can't ever forgive in her lifetime because of the wrath he brought into the world. With a deep sense of revenge, she says that she will beat him up and kill him with her own hands, and right now she is holding some flowers. So Yuki needs to keep that in mind when they are fighting. That is what she just wanted to tell him. After that, Kyo sits down on her knees, puts the flower down on the grave, and says she swears to avenge everyone that Unihorn killed ruthlessly. As she prays on the grave, Yuki is still standing, and he looks at her from behind while the wind blows their hair. Later on, they are both walking, and Kyo says that they will return straight to Mato from there. Suddenly, Kyo stops her and says to her that he wants to take a break for a while, and then continues to state the reason why he wants to stop. He points to the cafe beside him and says, based on his observation, that the cafe is quite famous for its parfait, and they should give it a try. Yuki, and then she cuddled and hugged him, then held his face to tell him that he should perfect his skills because a man should also know how to do chores. Kyo shakes him out of his flashback and says that he is not going to eat what he ordered. Yuki gets brought back and says, of course, he is going to eat it, and then chomps down the entire thing quickly. Then he says that the parfait here is really good and worth trying. Suddenly, Kyo's phone starts to ring in a weird way. She takes it out and says that it is a trumpet call, basically an emergency call from Mato. She explains that if the trumpet is played once, it means that there has been no life-threatening accident. But still, it is an emergency call, so she keeps her spoon down and tells him to come with her. Right that instant, both of them leave. A little girl is gazing out of her car and sees some kind of thing running super fast, and she is so amused by it. The thing goes inside a black hole. Back at Kyo and Yuki, Yuki sits down with his feet in warm water and groans while his eyes are closed. Kyo is behind him, and she says that it is a good thing that they are back in time. Then Kyo says that she will change in the room, which shocks him. To his surprise, she says that even Yuki has to come into the room with her. Well, that could be a great Christmas present for him, so they both make their way into the room. Kyo sits on the bed while Yuki sits on the floor looking at her. She looks like a wholehearted mommy. Kyo lifts up her feet and tells Yuki to help her undress while her thigh looks like a chicken piece anyone could devour. While Yuki asks her if this is the reward of her ability, and Kyo holds his collar angrily, grips on it, and says that as if she would ask this for any other reason. Yuki is scared and says that this is exactly what he thought and nothing else other than that. Of course, he did not just imagine a whole 3-hour session with her, so she sits back on the bed and says that now he needs to quickly help her get undressed and keeps her leg on his shoulder. Yuki looks at her and thinks that this is a maniac-like reward, which he desires. Then Yuki takes his hand in her skirt and takes her sock off. She points out her foot towards him, which our feet fetish gang really loved, and says that he is a little pervert in a very seductive voice. After that, they both enter her room where they are welcomed and informed that there is something they found in today's patrol. They tell them that there are many Shukis in the crater that suddenly appeared out of nowhere 21 kilometers north of here. Yuki is surprised and asks if all these red dots are Shukis. Kyo ponders the crater, and Himari says that this situation has never happened before. Even Nei says that there are no signs coming out of it, and it is as if it is a nest. Himari turns back to Kyo and says that she is sorry for interrupting her on her very special day off. But Kyo says that it is alright, that they did a good job, and that it was worth destroying as well. Further, Kyo says that this is going to be a big job for the 7th squad. While Yuki seems too excited for it and raises his hands and says, "Let's go for it." Shu looks at him and smiles, saying that he looks too fired up for it. Kyo says that they need to depart now, and they will take 3 vehicles for them. So with an instant, they make their way to the place, and Kyo says to Yuki, "Let's go first," and they are all riding their vehicles. With that said, Yuki and Kyo surpass Himari and Shu. They both think that this was too fast. Faster than your dad in bed. After that, Yuki and Kyo reach the place, which literally looks so cold. It has a big giant hole. Yuki says that people going in there would give out very bad results, so they should get this done quickly. Calmly, Kyo says that he does not need to charge this quickly and wait for her signal before it. They will destroy this nest with the 7th squad's sure kill combination, says Kyo. Suddenly, Shu grows up in a big way and says that now they are going to get it done. And an intense fight launches. Kyo says that if they combine, it spares them the trouble of getting them one by one. Then, Kyo's beast, which is Yuki, asks her if they will just crush them after they have gotten huge. Kyo replies to him and says that Shukis might be tough, but their behavior is really simple, and she wears her cap. So if they keep this up, they won't lose. Further, she explains that if they strike when they have reached their maximum size and are ready to keep going, Yuki agrees with her and then attacks Shukis. But Shu gets a strike, and she falls back. Out of the blue, a sudden surprise appears for all of them, expanding Kyo's pupils. She sees a long single horn and realizes she knows what she is seeing right now. It was Unicorn. Unicorn jumps and attacks Himari, and she falls out of the car. As the air clears up, they see Oba sitting on Unicorn and say she is here to enjoy the party too. Himari is surprised and wonders if she is some monster who could talk. Aoba says that she calls her a monster. Is that so? So for that, Himari should know that Aoba is strong at verbal fights as well. With that, Aoba attacks with her magic, which Himari tries to defend, but she fails at the attempt. Aoba sees this and exclaims that it feels so good and warm. Kyo attacks her from behind, but Aoba dodges it and says that it seems like they have finally met, and she even seems pretty strong. Then Kyo points her sword at her and says that she has finally met the unicorn. Aoba looks at the unicorn and says to him that she did not know that he had such a nickname as well. Yuki looks at them and wonders that these are the ones who completely brought ruin to Kyo's hometown and made her long for some revenge. Then Kyo yells and says to Aoba loudly who she is and what her business is. Aoba says to her that she could call her the one who fights the Demon Defense Force. Kyo angrily grins and says that she is Mado's Peach, while her sword is still pointed towards Aoba. Then Aoba says to her that she has never seen her little brother anywhere. She smirks and says that his trait is that he is the world's most handsome man. Of course, they had to screw in some incest as well. Kyo wonders what she said, little brother? Are they the same specimen? But as she wonders that, Aoba with Unicorn comes behind her with really high speed and attacks her, and a fight starts between the two of them. While fighting, Aoba says that her little brother was really attached to her, but as he got older, he became very naughty, so spending days with him and teaching him how to be a good kid was really fun for her too. Yuki wonders if she is really talking about a Shuki, because that sounds different and she doesn't look like Unicorn's species. Aoba then says that his name is, but before she could say her brother's name, a cold air blows, which was an attack by a different monster. She turns back to it angrily, wraps it in her hair, and says that he could not see that she was talking about her little brother, which distracted her. With that hair magic, she kills it and then presents it to Unicorn and says to have a little snack. Unicorn takes a bite of its snack while Kyo, sitting on Yuki's back, observes it all and yells that she knows that she is the leader. Aoba says to her that she does not know a thing about Mato or about this curse-filled world, because if she did, she would not have said that. During that, they are both fighting each other. Then Aoba says that she brought a good Shuki too with her, but now with her hair, she will split it up. Aoba grabs him with her hair and brings him in front of her, and she looks into his eyes. The moment she looks into his eyes, she realizes that it is not a Shuki and begins realizing something, but is hit off by Kyo. Then, Kyo attacks Unicorn, and he runs off from the battleground. Angrily, Aoba yells, how dare he even turn his back towards her in the middle of such a fight. Kyo comes to her and says that she will now pay him back for what she did to the villagers, and she will make her suffer the same fate that she made innocent people go through. Then she calls out for Yuki, asking where he is and what he is doing, and he has to chase Unicorn. But he is defending Shu and fighting Shukis to protect her. He asks Shu if she is okay, and she says yes, she is. Seeing that, Kyo firms her fist and says to Yuki that they have to retreat once they have brought them to safety. Kyo turns and wonders what is going on with her because she almost lost her subordinates because of her rage, and she should have been careful of that. Later on, Shu and Himari are on the hospital bed, and Kyo tells them that the wounds are not that deep and bad, and they will heal soon enough, so they don't need to worry about them. Later, behind closed doors, Yuki and Kyo sit, and of course it is obvious that something is about to go down. Kyo says to Yuki that she can see that he has a hidden desire for this kind of thing, and calls him a little pervert while she is stepping on him. Anyone would have had that kink if she stepped on them with those black stockings. Even Yuki wonders what kind of desire is hidden inside of him. Kyo says that she has many things to say to him regarding their last battle. Yuki yells that he has some things to say to her about it too, but is this how they are going to talk about it? Kyo says that they should not waste time while her victorious secrets were so visible. Further, she says that it looks like this reward for him will not be ending so soon. Yuki looks sideways and says that it was bad luck that Unicorn escaped them. Kyo says to him that Shu and Himari's lives come first, and she is grateful to him that he saved them and protected them when they needed to. Now finally, Yuki's perverted side shows up, and he says that it is a good way to show her gratitude towards him. Kyo lifts her foot up and says that he is the one who secretly wants this, and then begins to step on him on, and he screams. When the roles are reversed, then Kyo says that the figure riding the unicorn was probably a new kind of Shuki. A Shuki who can speak human language as well can understand it too. Further, Kyo says that this report will likely shake the entire country wildly. Yuki says that about that Shuki, it looked very much like his older sister, whom he lost in a Mato mishap. Kyo hears him out and says that he is saying that it was his sister, and Yuki says that it was a very big feeling that he had that she was his sister. She got shaken up too when she looked at him, and he felt like she realized something. Kyo takes her shoes off while sitting on the bed and then says that she was also talking about her brother too, so he must have been reminded of that as well. Then Kyo looks at him from above and says that she said that her brother's trait was that he was the world's most handsome man ever. With that, Kyo keeps her foot on Yuki's face, and Yuki mumbles that she did indeed say that. Kyo says that besides that, her powers were human-like, and she has never heard of a human transforming into a Shuki. She lifts her foot from his face and then says that they will meet her again, and Kyo is sure about that. Either way, they are going to find them and hunt them down. Yuki yells that they will do so with a lot of spirit. Hearing that, Kyo says to him that it seems like he enjoys being stepped on a lot. Who doesn't like that from such a hot mommy? Yuki seems too comfortable being called a pervert and says that after all, the view from down there is pretty nice too because it shows her undies and peaches. Kyo yells that he is such a perverted man and kicks him, and he yells very loudly. Bet he enjoyed that kick. It made y'all nerds wish you were in his place. Later on, he is cooking some food for everyone. Yuki thinks that Kyo said that Aoba was a humanoid Shuki. He wonders, if she is really his sister, why was she so hostile to the Demon Defense Force? How has she been living all this time? Why is she together with Unicorn? All these questions are eating him up, and he wonders if, when he meets her, he will surely ask her. Suddenly, Yuki's trail of thoughts is interrupted by Nei, and that is because the pot of food is boiling over, and she tells him that. Yuki panics and turns the stove off, saying that he was spaced out. Then Nei says to him to turn his crouch down, and she should do something superior to him now. Yuki wonders what she would do. Well, he thinks the answer would be something like, she punches him really hard and says that it was for putting everyone in danger. But Nei just walks to him, brushes her fingers in his hair, and says that she is thankful to him that he showed bravery and saved the lives of Shu and Himari. Further, Nei says that she is sure that he is tired as hell, so she suggests that if it is a simple meal, she can cook for him easily. Now they will switch jobs, and Yuki says thanks to her with a smile on his face. Nei says that she is superior, so it is natural, and Yuki says to her that it is okay. He will do it properly. He gets up and pats his head, tells her that she is too good of a superior to him, and then wears back his cap. Yuki turns to her and asks her if she would help him in the serving, and she says leave it to her, and she would do so, and they both happily start working. Though he still thinks that once he sees her again, Yuki will know whether she is his sister or not. For now, he aims to just focus on his work. On the other hand, Naon says that coming back wounded is not beautiful even for Oba. Oba says she is right, because she was taken by surprise too. Coco licks her, and she heals her wounds and tells her that. Oba looks at her wounds and says that she did a good job. She thanks her while patting her head. Then Naon says that she is sure that it was Yuki, and Oba jumps down. Then, Oba says she wonders how he got that ability. She wonders whether it was because of the experiments or because of a woman who could ride him. Yeah, that is for sure that it could turn any man into a beast. She wonders that the first question is how did a man end up in the Demon Defense Force? She says then that she is glad that she was able to see Yuki again. On the other hand, Yuki is wondering why Unicorn was no doubt really strong. While he was taking a shower, Shu came behind him and said that if there was something on his mind, he would be surprised by her. He asks her how her wounds are, and she says that those are okay now. Then Shu says to him that she is thankful to him for helping her out back there when she was in danger. Yuki says that anyone would have done the same, and Shu says to him that, as a thanks to him, she will wash and rub his back for him. This man is living in literal heaven. Yuki says that he can do that by himself, but Shu gives him an offer that he can't reject. She tells him that she is naked right now, and he can turn back around and look at her, so now he has to be quiet and let her wash his back. Yuki's eyes were wide-ass open, like your mom's legs. With that said, she begins washing his back while her honkers bounce. Yuki wonders if Shu is actually naked and wonders if she is the type who would tease him that he is the type of man who won't turn around. So he comes up with a plan and says that he will turn around and say that he knows that she is wearing a swimsuit, and now she needs to get out. Yuki warns himself that he has to be more mature and careful. It would be better for his own future. Then Yuki gets up and sees that Shu was actually naked, yells, and runs out being shy. Shu thinks that it is kind of exciting that he saw her naked. Well, when he gets out, he sees another naked woman. He looks up, and it was Himari, and she runs after him as to why he even saw her. She runs with a towel wrapped on her and with a chainsaw behind him to somehow hit him. Yuki runs for his life from this woman who seems like the most angry woman on the planet. I can fix her, she can fix me. Well, Yuki reaches a point and falls back as Himari is about to hit him with the chainsaw. The chainsaw luckily hits the wall and not Yuki's head, but before the situation escalates, a new turn for MC is about to be brought with some new mommies for him to be fed upon. Suddenly, a black hole opens up and Yuki gets up, thinking they are intruders, and is ready to fight them. Sub-Boy shows some of his dom side to protect his mommies, before his manly attitude takes a step further into his own wreckage, because let's just be for real, ain't no Sub-Boy can fight against some dom mommies all alone. Himari stops him and says that they are the Demon Defense Force's 6th squad and they won't harm them. Both of them step outside of the black hole and stand inside their home. First, Tenka Izuma introduces herself, who has a pixie haircut, which makes her look like a lesbian but in a straight way who could totally step on him and he would enjoy every bit of it. After her, Yachiho Izuma gives her introduction to him who genuinely looks pretty normal. Then, seeing the sub-MC, Tenka walks up to him as if she wants to sniff him really close and says that he is the slave boy she has heard a lot about and wonders what kind of things he presents. She looks so into MC that made me think how God just blesses some twinks with the hottest mommies around them. That's just pure luck we all wish for. I mean, that's just my speculation regarding it because I sure have read a bunch of horny mangas. Then she asks to call Kiyo for her, and he does so. On the other hand, Himari looks at Yachiho angrily for some reason while she is still wrapped up in her towel. Seems like someone is quite jealous seeing MC is about to get close to some new hot dom mommies and her losing her chance with him. Should have thought about it before she ran after him with a chainsaw in her hands. Tenka comes to Kyoka's house. They serve her a cup of tea. After she takes a sip of it, she smiles and tells Kyoka that her little slave makes a mean cup of tea. Yuki starts jutting out because he is the one who made the tea. Nei and Shushu start looking at him. They can't understand why she is smiling. Kyoka asks Tenka why she came to her house. She is not glad when she sees her first. Tenka asks her if she received the memo from the Supreme Commander. She knows about it but wants to confirm with her. The memos are regarding the appearance of the vicious humanoid Shuki. She tells Kyoka in easy words that their squadrons operate independently. Tenka says that the demon's defense forces are more cohesive in return. Kyoka smiles after she hears about it. Yacho taunts and tells Kyoka that she heard about the 7th Squadron's second-in-command fainting when she was attacked by one of the humanoid Shuki. She thinks that it is pathetic. Himari knows that she is talking about her. Yachiho is from the same family and is related to Himari by blood. She tells Himari that she is determined to drag down the Azuma family's reputation through mud. Yacho tells her to give up and come home, but Himari gets emotional when she hears her taunting. Yuki can feel that the room gets much more dense than before. It has a bunch of dominant women and slayed twink. How would it not get dense? Tenka admits that the humanoid Shuki aren't totally weak. Kyoka thinks that the 3rd Squadron's commander faces them. Tenka tells her that it is not for once, but they run into them twice. Kyoka knows why cooperating with other squadrons is very important. Yachiho is full of confidence and tells Kyoka that her presence is assuring for her. She tells her that some of them can't trust her because they think the squadron is weak. She keeps teasing Himari without mentioning her and tells Kyoka that she does not want to name those specifics. Everyone knows that Himari is getting affected by it, and she gets irritated. Yachiho says that she is concerned that some of them would slow them down. Himari starts biting her teeth and stares at Yachiho with deadly looks. Kyoka knows that Himari can't hold much back, and she tells Tenka that they all need to assess the abilities of each of their teams. Kyoka says that they all should hold an inter-squad Mado exhibition match. Tenka is surprised because she did not expect that. All of them are also surprised. Yachiho thinks that it is an interesting idea. Yuki starts wondering about the Mado exhibition match because he never imagined one before. He thinks that it is like a baseball league match. Nei calls Yuki and whispers in his ear, saying that they hold an exhibition to compete in strength and skills between 2 squadrons. Kyoka confidently asks Tenka if a single combat squad is acceptable for her. Tenka asks her if she has never minced words before. She agrees with her, and Yachiho tells them that they will adjust their numbers according to them. Tenka opens the portal and tells Yuki that she will meet her later. After they leave, Himari asks Kyoka if she will help her for the match. She is so eager to show the 3rd squad that she is not weak at all. Kyoka tells her that it is going to be physically demanding. Himari tells her that she is ready to do anything to win the exhibition match. Kyoka puts her hand on her shoulder and tells her to buckle up because she is going to start the training. After Kyoka leaves, Himari gets angry and declares Nei, Yuki, and Shushu as her slaves. Yuki gets dense and asks her why. He gets scared because there is no reason for him to become a slave. Later, Himari starts eating ramen. Shushu has already finished more than 3 bowls and says that she can't hold herself back on Yuki's cooking. Nei asks Yuki if he used some sort of secret ingredient. Yuki tells them that he wanted the ramen to be rich, and that's why he added the chicken fat. Himari is glad and tells Yuki that as long as the housework goes on, his work is as perfect as the slave. Yuki gets dull again and asks her how he got rope as her slave. Himari tells him that it is for the sake of the exhibition match, and she has to win it at all costs. Yuki tells Himari that it does not have anything to do with him. Kyoka brings her bowl of ramen and tells the squad that she keeps the combat simple with single combat. She asks Himari if her sister's attitude struck a nerve with her. Kyoka motivates her and tells her that she has to use the match as an excuse to kick her sister's butt. Himari gets all fired up and thanks her commander for giving her a chance to kick some butts. Kyoka tells her that butt kicking should be her sworn duty. Yuki panics after he hears their conversation and asks what's going on with kicking and butting. Both Himari and Yuki are traveling on the jeep, and Yuki asks her again about why he has to be her slave. Himari tells him that transforming her body into weapons is not her main ability. She only uses that power because it is compatible. Himari shows him her phone. Yuki is curious when he hits it. The phone has Kyoka's picture, and it looks like a trading card to him. Himari tells Yuki that learning is her main ability, and she can learn others' abilities and use them for herself. Yuki thinks that it is cool and asks her if it is not super OP. Himari says that she can use someone's ability after putting it into her phone and then implementing it. She tells Yuki that she can use the commander's ability at the moment because she has it in her phone. Yuki gets curious and asks her if she fully understands the entails of the commander's ability. Himari gets irritated with his question and tells him that it is physically demanding. Himari is ready beyond her ability. She doesn't mind cleaning or laundering if she can get a chance to teach her sister a lesson. While driving, Shuki comes out of the ground. Yuki and Himari come out of the Jeep, and Himari tells Yuki to get ready because they are surrounded by Shuki. Yuki tells her that he is fine, but he has already warned her before. Yuki grabs Himari's arm and kisses it. A wind tornado produces around them, and Yuki transforms into Himari's slave. She is surprised because Yuki's shape is changed when Commander Kyoka uses him. Yuki apparently transforms into a scary monster, and his eyes start shining. Himari rides on Yui's back. Shuki attacks them from the front. Yuki disappears into thin air and teleports on Shuki's back. He is surprised because he is able to move at lightning speed. Yuki kicks Shuki on his back and takes it down. He is able to move even faster when he is with Commander Kyoka. Shuki recovers from his punch very fast, and Yuki knows that the drawback of his fast-moving perk is that he gets weak in strength. Yuki starts hitting Shuki with all speed and decides to hit them until they all drop. Well, that is something we did not see coming from the sub-boy. Himari is excited when he makes Yuki his slave. She gets motivated when she sees Yuki's ability. She thinks that it is the key to fight his sister. Yuki takes all the Shuki down in an instant and transforms back into his original form. A wind tornado produces around him again when he transforms back. Yuki gets exhausted. Himari comes running to him, and Yuki tells her that she can choose any number of abilities whichever she wants. Himari tells him that he did a great job. Yuki asks her why he insisted on that one ability. Himari stops and tells him that it could give him a chance to be useful even though he is a man. She tells him he should be grateful and lifts her skirt. She shows him her blue underwear. Yuki's eyes are wide open. Himari panics and tells him to wait because she can't understand what is happening to her. Yuki blushes and tells her that it is the price of his ability. Himari gets stunned and understands the meaning of Commander when she tells her that it is going to be physically demanding. Himari is nervous because she can't move her body and keeps showing her underwear to him. Yuki gets confused and thinks that it is because his reward is not completed yet. Himari can't see Yuki into his eyes because of embarrassment and asks him why it has to be like that. She tells him to stop gawking at her underwear. Yuki can't resist, and he is unable to simply ignore that magnificent look. When Yuki moves his face away, Himari is still stuck in the same pose and thinks that she is going to be like that forever. Yuki guesses that because of her ability, it can't stop unless he gets his reward fully. Himari's face turns red. Himari takes off her skirt and sits on Yuki's face with her underwear. Yuki starts suffocating because he can't breathe. Himari asks him if it is a sufficient reward for him. Looks like for some reward I have to be a sub guy. When Yuki moves his lips, Himari feels tickling and thinks that it is very indecent. After some time, both of them go back to the Jeep. Himari is in a serious mood. Yuki tells her that she should start using a different ability. She is irritated and tells him that she will if she sees what she is capable of. She can't forget it because it is very shameful for her. Yuki asks why she can't use another ability if she does not want to do it. Himari explains to him that there was a compatibility component to the learning ability. She couldn't use all the abilities because learning could reduce their compatibility to the point that some of them became useless. Himari told Yuki that Medo's destruction power only increased her bust size by 3 centimeters. Yuki tried to explain Kyoka's ability price to Himari, but she interrupted him, telling him she was already aware of it. Yuki asked Himari why she was so desperate to win. Himari told him that she was born into a rich family named the Azuma household, in which all families were influenced by major accomplishments in Mato. Himari's sister was successful, which is why all the family also had high hopes for her too. But she often overexerted herself before a win or got hurt. She might have gotten nervous or come down with a fever. Yuki smiled and told her that it was just like his life story. Himari told him that it happened the same with her peach ability. Yuki wondered if they noticed the problem she mentioned earlier. Himari blamed her sister because she always got teased at home whenever she couldn't keep up with her. Yuki thought that it must be really tough for Himari to grow up in such a famous family. Himari was totally devoted to the exhibition match because it was her first chance since she cut ties with the Azuma family to prove them wrong about her. She pointed her finger at him and told him that he had to cooperate with her happily. Yuki made a hard face and thought that it was very difficult to help someone if they wouldn't ask politely. Himari told Yuki about her ultimate goal, which was to become a true hero like Commander Kyoka. She thought that she would never be able to become a new version of herself if she couldn't beat her sister Yakiho. She opens her eyes and says that part of her that nobody has ever seen definitely deserves a proper chance to shine. Yuki was hearing it all and sweats a bit but wonders that Himari is just like him. Then, Himari says that they are still missing something for the exhibition match. Yuki was clueless about it, so he asks Himari what is that about. Himari makes an angry yet serious face and tells him that a finishing move will demolish their enemy, and she seems pretty motivated as well. A spark of realization hits Yuki, and he suddenly thinks that to come to it, all he has done so far till now is mindlessly punch and kick everything in sight. He does everything he is told to do because he's a sub-boy. He wonders that he has his own reasons for wanting to get stronger, and maybe Himari is the key to opening up a new door. Further, Yuki thinks that it would be even better if along the way he manages to help Kyo as well. Those behind the room stepping up sessions are making him loyal. Yuki sighs and finally speaks up and says that he would do it in a manly manner. Himari notices that and gets up. As she is getting up, she says to him that he should mind his behavior because he is her slave, and he should remember the fact that he can't refuse her, neither he has the right to do so. Like a good boy, Yuki says he knows that and asks what Yachiho has the ability that she brings to the table. Himari tells him that Yachiho has the golden hour. She can control time, like she can freeze it and rewind it as well. Yuki panics after hearing that and says that they pretty much look super screwed. At the 6th squadron, Yachiho is taking a shower. A slave boy would have given anything to drink that water. She is talking to herself and says that her ears are burning. Then she says that she has a sneaking suspicion that Himari is talking about her right now. Yachiho thinks that she is one annoying little sister, and it is only a good and right thing that she does her bidding for the rest of her life. Yachiho snaps her fingers and says in an evil way that she is going to put her in her place at the Mado exhibition match. Though all we nerds can focus on right now is on her honkers. With evil filled in her eyes, she says loudly that she can't wait for it to happen and can hardly wait for the big day and last. I am hardly sitting right now looking at her shower. On the other hand, Himari and Yuki are telling Yachiho that her ability is for sure dangerous because it can literally control time. But she will get tired if she uses it too many times, and that is how they will win. Yuki says that the fact that she can use it more than once is quite a bit tricky. Then Himari says to him, showing a pose that Yachiho makes, and says that she strikes a very weird pose before using her ability. More like it is a routine that enhances her ability. Yuki sighs and says that they will have to beat her to the punch, and in that case they can use the ability of his light speed for their finishing move. Himari says that is exactly what she had in mind, an ultra-fast maneuver that won't even give her time to freeze the time through her ability. Yuki motivates her and says that they won't even give her a single chance to rewind time either. Not just that, Yuki says that an attack with enough force to knock her out of the fight completely is what they will be doing. He shows her what he will be doing and says that a swift step forward into a head-on punch is what he will perform, and he thinks that it would surely be the fastest. Himari says that now they shall work on making it pitch perfect, a deadly blow that she can't dodge. Then she tells him that he should try channeling all of his strength into a single part of his body. Yuki hears her out and does so and channels all his strength into his leg, and he actually was able to do it, and even Himari is surprised at it. Well, just in time for their practice, a monster comes out from the ground, and he sounds like a perfect punching bag for them. Yuki is going to practice on him and runs in his direction and realizes that he is even faster than before now, and it shows too. He knows that at this rate they are doing really well and punches the monster in the gut. But somehow it does not work, but he ends up blowing the monster. Yuki sits down on his knees and says to Himari that it seems like he overdid it. Well, Himari notices it too and tells him that he most probably lost most of his arm strength because he poured all of his strength in his legs instead. She walks to him, holds his head and says to him that he will keep experimenting with it until they perfect his technique. Himari pats his head and Yuki wonders if this is his reward and feels awkward. Definitely did not feel awkward when he was getting stepped on and could see Kyo's wet Victoria's Secrets. After a while, Kyo arrives too and says to Himari that Yuki looks different than when he is with her. Yuki sees that Kyo is there and Kyo tells him to keep it up, and Yuki says he will do so. Kyo says to Himari then, channeling his strength into a single point to produce a more powerful effect is a really proactive approach. Himari listens to her and Kyo says further that she has a great knack for it. Hearing that from her commander, Himari feels delighted and says thanks to her. Further, Kyo says to her that why is she watching him from way back there. Himari has no answer for it, so Kyo says to her that she must not forget the fundamental essence of her ability. Himari looks at her with a questioning face, but Kiyo says to her to make her proud. With that said, Kiyo leaves and Himari jumps on Yuki's back and says that she will be riding him during the exhibition match. I mean, that could drain him out too. Himari motivates him and says that they should do this like a real deal. She thinks that this ability requires dominating a slave, which Kiyo is the best at, and not just sitting back and coaching him. Himari says to herself that she needs to get on his back and seize the slave's chain and issue a command as his master. She yells that Yuki will channel his strength into his legs. Yuki wonders as it starts happening that it feels different, and he suddenly feels more powerful this time, as if the power is flowing through him. Himari points at a shuki and tells Yuki to crush that shuki, and with an instant, Yuki crushes the shuki and takes it down. Yuki himself can't believe what he did and had no idea he could do this too. On the other hand, Himari has a hopeful look in her eyes that this was a foolproof finishing move. Yuki says to her that he was very lost in the moment and he is not sure he can do it again or replicate it. Himari says to him that he needs to not worry about it, and Mado has plenty of practice dummies for them to practice on. Yuki gets back in his normal human form and wonders that he is a million times more worn out than he usually is. Himari, opening her button, says that his technique lacks precision sometimes, so she tells him that they need to practice more for that and develop consistency. She takes bit by bit all of her clothes off and throws them on the ground, and Yuki gets up and says that she does not have to throw her clothes on the ground like that. Well, Himari has her melons in her hands and squeezes them and says she knows that this is so indecent. Our sweet little slave boy gets nervous as hell, and he gets up and says that he will master his ability so he can put it to use again in the near future. Himari says to him that is the spirit she wanted to see. Later, they all get back on practicing in sweat and work through it side by side. After a few days, Himari gets up in the morning and opens her windows. It was the exhibition match. She looks at her calendar with a serious face. After a while, Tanka walks in through a black hole in their home with her teammates and says that today they will put their team's excellence on display. Yachio puts her hand on her chin and says they will look iconic too, a stylish victory in their bag. Shushu and Himari are sitting in a bath, and Shushu asks Himari that the moment of truth is finally here and how she feels. Himari says that she is ready for anything. Weebs getting done on her is what she was not ready for though. Further, Himari said she will be using an ability that Yachio has never seen before in her life, so that makes her even more confident and she feels good about it. Shushu asks her that once the exhibition match is over, the Himari and Yuki duo will be over too, right? Himari says yes, that would happen because Yuki belongs to the commander and not her, so she knows that is bound to happen. Then Himari says that it is a physically demanding activity as well. Shushu giggles and yeah, she has the same dirty little mind. Himari says then that for now they have to focus on today and the whole Demon Defense Force will know who won. After that, Himari says that the outcome will affect their squadron and the commander's reputation as well. Shushu, who is now out of water, pulls a thumbs up and says that they gotta put their best foot forward and aim for the best. Himari seems so motivated and says that she would do everything for herself and for the commander since she organized this entire match and she can't lose. Shushu says to her that it reminds her that aren't other members of the squadron supposed to show up too. Well, with that said, Sahar walks in and she is naked too. She says that they got here early too, so she came here to distress as well. The only thing they are de-stressing are some nerds and weebs. Shushu wonders that since then she has been in the 6th Squadron, and Himari tells her that it is Sahara. She tells her that she is a homebody, so it is rare to see her out and about. Sahara falls asleep in the water, and Himari and Shushu think that she certainly has some guts for sure. After a while, Himari and Shushu come out dressed, and they bump into Yakiho. Himari tells Shushu to go ahead without her, while Yakiho stands smiling in an evil way. Shushu tells Himari that she will be doing great, and she has no need to stress it out. Then Yakiho starts talking that Himari took a bath before the match. She must be really confident about it. Himari says to her that she needs to be clean and tidy before she wins today, so that was for that. Yachiho says to her that hearing that sounds like she has a plan in her mind already, but that follows up with the question that can she actually even do it? Well, that was an attempt to make her feel insecure, but Himari shakily says of course she can do it. Then Yuki walks up to them and says that they haven't even left the dorm yet and the match is about to start anytime soon. Yachiho taunts them that they are only delaying the inevitable and walks off. Himari gets angry, but Yuki says to her that they will do absolutely great because they trained their asses for it, so she needs to have faith in it. Himari says that it is very cocky for a slave and smiles at him. Then she goes closer to him and holds his collar that they are guaranteed to win, of course. After a while, Yuki and Himari come to the battleground and apologize for being late, and everyone was standing there already. Yuki gets handed over a piece of wood to have his name written over, and he asks what it is for. It is actually used to trigger Jinna Bizen's ability. She can create a barrier by drawing a line on the ground that acts as a boundary, so only those who sign their names can enter the barrier. More than that, any damage that comes during the combat inside will be healed. Then Jinna introduces herself and says that she is of the 10th Squadron and she will be their referee for today's inter-squad exhibition match. Then Jinna protects the battleground with her magic by snapping her fingers. Jinna wonders that her ability is like a dream come true. She gets to see 3 Demon Defense Force up close and personally. That is some weird lesbo kink she has. Jinna narrates that no one believes, but Peaches grants powers on the basis of the person's nature and knowledge, but she totally believes that. Tenka turns around and says that this barrier could withstand the force of 1,000 Shuki, and then Kyo says that they are counting on Jinna to judge this fight of today. Well, Jinna gets so happy to hear that and literally sounds like a K-pop fan being annoying. Yuki turns his face towards her and says that she is a Demon Defense Force fangirl, right? She gives him a dry response and Yuki panics that she should have mentioned that she does not like men. Then Nae announces that it is going to start and Yuki asks her if she made it, so Nae says that she is being the cheerleader for them. So in the first round, Himari versus Yachiho. Yachiho and Himari walk up front and Yachiho says that once the match is done, she will drag her back home. But Himari is motivated and says she will win this, and then Yuki transforms himself as well. Then the match begins and Yuki attacks Yachiho. She was not expecting that and then rewinds the time, and Himari notices that Yachiho is already tired, something they already prepared for. Well, Yachiho says under her breath that Himari does not know how strong she has gotten, and she will show her prime time now. Himari makes Yuki her slave in order to show her Azuma family her powers, but using Yuki and making him her own slave also has a big sacrifice. She has to give Yuki his reward, which is embarrassing for her. Well, not embarrassing for Yuki. Yuki asks her to stop if she does not like it, but Himari has no choice. She has to make Yuki her slave because her powers are to copy. She copies her Captain Uzen's power, but her limitation is that she makes the power less compatible and weak. Himari and Sahara are in the same room. They take off their clothes and get ready for the training. Himari looks at Sahara with a serious look and asks her if Yachiho has any special training that day. I could burn her calories in a way that she would not need to work out. Sahara starts wondering. Himari forces her because she wants to know every little tip she can get. Sahara and Yachiho are in the same squad. That is why Himari wants her to tell her something about Yachiho. They are going to face each other in the arena. Yachiho is always one step ahead of her sister. That is why Himari is also expected by many people, but because she always messes up on important occasions, she thinks that she is a disappointment. It is important for Himari to defeat Yachiho so that the Azuma family can see her as a powerful member. Sahara gets dull after a long time. If Yachiho does any special training, she will sleep while thinking about it. Himari wakes her up and gets angry. Sahara smiles and tells her that Yachiho just does her usual training, and it is because she is feeling confident. Sahara's melons are big enough to make any girl jealous of them. Shushu comes and puts her hand on Himari's shoulder. She tells her to give her all because her sister is looking down on her. The first match starts between Himari and Yachiho. Everyone is thrilled. Jinna is hosting the match and Yuki is a slave of Himari, and she is riding on him while in his demon form. Yachiho is confident the moment the match starts. She warns Himari that she could be killed in seconds. Yuki goes ahead and sends Yachiho flying in a glimpse. He is fast as light that some think he is teleporting. While Yachiho is in the middle of the air, she gets irritated and asks Himari what she is thinking attacking suddenly. Yachiho rewinds the last 5 seconds by using her golden hour power. Everything comes into place before the match starts. Yachiho thinks that Himari is exhausted, and Himari realizes that Yachiho pre-planned so that they would not finish the match in an instant. Himari wants to end the match in an instant, but Yachiho's power troubles her. Himari commands Yuki to go ahead and he jumps into the air to attack Yachiho. She takes her gun out and gets ready to attack. Himari notices the gun and it is modified for the Mado users. She already predicts that she is going to use the gun as the main weapon. Yachiho thinks that Himari is a fool because she can't change her course in the midair. She plans to stop the time the moment she lands on the ground with Golden Hour. Himari takes the opportunity while Yachiho thinks that they won't attack. She tightens the leash on Yuki, and they launch an attack on Yachiho directly from the midair. Yuki hits Yachiho with Brand Break and she starts bleeding. Yachiho uses Golden Hour again and rewinds the time back 5 seconds. Yachiho is surprised because she does not think Yuki would change his course in the air and speed up to her. The match gets interesting by the time Yachiho gets pushed to the corner for the second time. She just dodges it with a hair's breadth, but she knows that if she uses her ability sooner, Himari will get in range and she will stop the time to attack them. Yachiho uses the Golden Hour and stops the time for 5 seconds. The moment she stops the time, Yuki and Himari disappear in front of her. She gets shocked and searches for them around, and sees that they are out of range, and they also change their position on purpose. She starts running behind Yuki, and Himari knows that they made her waste her ability. She tells Yuki to stick to the plan. Yuki starts running around Yachiho and makes her confused. She gets irritated because they are very fast for her eyes to track them. Yuki and Himari are in complete sync. Yachiho thinks that Himari is trying to cause a distraction. Jinna is hosting the match with all excitement. She is tracking all the steps of both opponents. Yuki can feel the determination of Himari to win the match. He remembers that Himari already told him that her ultimate motive is to become a true hero like the commander. Himari is motivated before the match. She knows it is important for her to beat Yachiho so that she can prove her worth to the Azame family. She wants to be reborn after winning the match. Yuki gets full of spirit. He wants to beat Yachiho and make Himari win. He gets all fired up and much faster than before. He wants to do it for Himari's sake. Commander Kyoka, Shushu, and Nei are watching the match. Shu is cheering for them and Nei is amazed because it looks like Yuki made clones of himself. Commander Kyoka is intense. He knows that beating Yachiho won't be easy anyhow. When Yuki is going to attack Yachiho, she points her towards them. Himari changes course and tightens the chain to make Yuki attack from the air. Yuki attacks Yachiho at full speed. She barely ignores the attack from Yuki because she already got hit by him 2 times. Yachiho gets confused and thinks that it is a petty strategy. Yuki knows that he is going to keep attacking like that because Himari decided it as planned. Commander Tenka and Sahara are watching the match from the other side. Tenka thinks that Himari came up with a good strategy. Sahara is dull and she hopes that Yaki would not get hurt. Tenka thinks that the match turned out to be very interesting and she did not expect that from Yuki and Himari. She is surprised because she thought that Yuki was an exclusive slave of Kyoka, but it turned out that he could be devoted to his new master too. Himari thinks that Yuki is moving much better than before. She smiles because she knows that she has to apologize to him after the match because she made a lot of fun of him all the time. It is another reason for her to beat Yachiho because she does not want her efforts to be wasted. During the match, Himari notices that the use of Golden Hour takes time, and once Yachiho shows her bizarre pose, it indicates the trigger sign. She knows that she can either attack Yachiho or run away from her during her pose, and it all depends on their distance from her. With Yachiho's pose, it is easy to determine whether she will use her ability or not. If Yachiho is exhausted, it means that she definitely rewound the time. It is simple for them to take a detour after that. Yuki attacks Yachiho from behind. She dodges her and shoots the bullet at him. He jumps in the air and starts running around her again. Himari knows that the Golden Hour is a powerful move, and Yachiho can only use it a few times more. Both of them don't have much time left because Yuki also got tired after running a lot at a fast speed. Himari decides that she should make Yachiho waste her ability a few times more. The ability is going to be all hers. Yachiho predicts all of Himari's thoughts and her plans. Apparently, she is holding back to read her mind. She is still confident and knows that she will definitely make her come back and make her regret her actions. Yachiho decides to use her trump card. She uses a different pose and tells Himari to behold the superiority of the big sister. The ending of the match gets interesting. Himari gets panicked because her sister is going to stop the time at a big distance. Yachiho uses the prime time move and stops the time of the whole arena group for 10 seconds. For the 10 seconds only she is free to move in the whole group. She knows that if she stops the time just for 5 seconds, Himari and Yuki would have run away. But with her 10 seconds ability, no one would have gotten away. She shoots 3 bullets and they hit Himari and Yuki. Both of them get badly injured. The time starts running again, and both of them fall on the group. Tenka starts smiling. Jinna is amazed by what happened in an instant. She tells everyone that Himari, who was supposed to be an advantage, is down. Yacho gets relaxed and takes a deep breath. She tells Himari that with the prime time she could easily stop the time for 10 seconds. The supreme pose allows her to double the time of manipulation. It took her longer to activate the prime time than golden hour. She thought that they would have run away as she performs her usual noble pose. Shushu, Nei, and Kyoka are confused and start worrying about Himari and Yuki. Jinna tells everyone that Yachiho stopped the time for 10 seconds for all of them by doubling the golden hour. Himari can't believe it. Yachiho tells her that her growth is at a genuine level, and not noticing that and making a mark of her strength was the reason for her loss. Tenka is proud of Yachiho, and Yuki is not able to move. Himari in the start seems to be dealing with the opponent one-handedly with a slave's fast speed. Yachiho's trump card, Prime Time, turns the table. Jinna says that even she can hardly believe what happened in the match. She is curious if the 6th squad could win the match between the two second-in-commands. Nei gets worried about Himari and hopes if she will be fine. Shu takes the banner out and starts cheering for her, saying that she still has a chance. She cheers for Himari and tells her to show the spirit of the 7th squad to them. Yachiho knows that the copying ability of Himari comes with a price, and she cannot perform the ability at play. She knows that her sister cannot switch to another ability in an instant. Yachiho tells Himari to remember that she was never able to perform when it really mattered. That time is also no different, and she cannot handle the prime time. Yachiho tells Himari to give up because she won't be able to defeat her. Himari gets irritated and starts crying, thinking that she won't be able to win and her efforts won't bear fruit after all the time. Yuki gets up and tells Himari not to give up. He tells her that her sister is trying to defeat her mentally. Yuki tells her to look at her sister's face because the prime time move took a lot from her too. Yachiho is also affected by her own ability, and like what she said earlier, every power comes with a price. When Himari notices her sister, she is exhausted and sweating. Yuki gets angry and asks her if she would give up even after all their efforts. He says that it would be really pathetic for a master. Himari stands up and tells Yuki that he has a big mouth for a slave, and even though he thinks of her as a wreck, Himari gets onto Yuki's back and tells him that she would punish him after the match is over. Yachiho gets irritated because her sister didn't give up. Jinna starts cheering for Himari because she got up. She says that it looked like she gave up, but Himari rises again. Jinna tells the audience that they have entered the climax of the match. The 7th squad gets glad and starts cheering for Himari again. Kyoka and Tenka start smiling. Sahara gets dull because Himari stood up again. Yachiho loads her gun and tells Himari that she should not embarrass her commander anymore. She tries to make Himari lose her confidence with her talk and tells her that she could use her time-stopping ability once more. Himari is confident because she has Yuki as her support, and she tells her sister that she won't give up until the end. Both of them get serious. Himari tells Yachiho that fighting until the end is not an embarrassment for the 7th squad. Yachiho gets irritated because she thinks that she already broke her heart in the fight. Himari tells Yuki to start running. Yachiho uses golden hour and poses already. Yuki starts shining and breaks her pose. Yachiho thought that they were trying to blind her, but she already used her move. It looked like Yuki had transformed again. Seeing the bright flashes, Yachiho's eyes are unable to open. Like your mom's legs for your dad, sealed shut. She thinks that they have planned to have her blinded, but she has already taken the pose. Then she stops the time for 5 seconds and angrily takes a gun and plans to shoot her own sister to have victory. But she can't see Himari because she was blocked by Yuki and his wings, making her unable to see what is ahead. Yachiho still tries to shoot her down and fires the gun multiple times. As the time starts again, there are splashes of blood. Well, the plan works, and Himari ends up shooting Yachiho from between her legs. Hot way to end someone's life. Everyone who is spectating this ends up being shocked, and Yachiho falls down on the ground. Himari raises her hand of victory, and there roars a cheer for her because Himari won the match. It gets announced as well that the match is over and Himari Azuma is the winner and the 7th squad is in the lead. Kyo smiles and wonders that they used the light and smoke of releasing the transformation to blind Yachiho to attack her and take over her. She is proud that both of them studied Kyo's ability really well. On the other hand, Yachiho's team is saddened that they lost a match, and Tenka says that she hopes that Yachiho learns from it. Suddenly, they look at Yuki and he is still on the ground. His team members get worried for him, but Kiyo stops them from her hand to let it be. Then, Yuki opens his eyes and wonders where he is and what happened to him. Himari is sitting beside him and says to him that he was shot, and hence he was knocked out. Jinna is sitting near them as well, and she says to them that this would usually result in a very serious injury, but inside her barrier, every injury can be healed, so there is that. She heals his scar and walks away, and Yuki is left in awe that she healed him. Himari sees that and then slaps on his back and says that he is now fully healed, so he does not need to lean in on her. Yuki falls and says he was literally unconscious just a moment ago. But both of them are smiling and happy that they did it, and they won the match, and their hard work did not end up in smoke. Yuki says that now his throat is parched, but he feels relieved. Himari gives him her hand to get up, and he grabs her hand. Yachiho, on the other hand, finds comfort in Jinna's healing touch, which helps to gradually heal her wounds. But even as her body heals, she can't shake the eerie memories of her early years spent with Himari. Meanwhile, after the fierce battle, Himari and Yuki are starting to feel tired and think about going out for a well-earned drink when something unexpected comes up. Yachiho steps in, calling Himari over with a voice that breaks through the tiredness. Yachiho gets to her feet and agrees to treat Himari with the decency that her newly acquired strength demands. This turning point signals a change in their dynamic and raises the possibility of neglected deeper difficulties in their relationship. Yachiho asks her if she does that. There would be no problem if she returns to the Azuma household. Himari hears that out, and Yachiho insists that she needs to come back. But Himari says that she won't come back because she belongs to the 7th squad now and she fits here very well. Yachiho needs to stop insisting. So, no matter what Yachiho says to Himari, she won't come back from what she has already seen. Yachiho freezes after she listens to Himari because she thought Himari needed some sort of validation, and she thought that Himari still was a little girl who wanted her big sister to treat her right. Yachiho could give me validation because I sure am not as dominant as Himari. Himari takes Yuki and says that they will go now and get a drink, and with that said, they leave the barrier. Sahara and Tenka came to Yachiho and said that she learned her lesson now and there was no point in her boasting so much about her power. Sahara pats Yachiho's head and says that her way of expressing love is way too awkward, and she should instead try to communicate rather than what she brought upon them. Yuki and Himari go back to the kitchen to get a drink, and Himari opens the fridge and drinks some water while Yuki stands back. So Yuki comes forward too and says he will have some water too, and Himari stops him. She grabs his face near her face and kisses him while she makes him drink water through her mouth. Where do I submit my resume to become a slave if that is what I will be getting? The drops of water fall down from Yuki's chin, and he asks her if that was his reward because it sure does look like one hell of a reward. Himari is nervous and says that it seems like his rewards have started now, and he needs to keep himself a bit ready for them. Even the nerds are ready for it. Meanwhile, Tenka and Yachiho are in a room where Yachiho is changing and she seems really down. Tenka says to her that they will review their first match where she fought Himari and lost to her. She tells her that it was the slave boy's first match against a human, talking about Yuki. Further, Tenka says that he does know that he will heal, but subconsciously, he will be holding all of it back as well, the entire fight, even if he does not want to. Tenka says that according to Yachiho's explanation, under normal circumstances, she would have lost after the first blow by Yuki because it was so full of power and strength. Yachiho releases a sigh and Tenka continues and says that not just that, but it is inexcusable to give your opponent a breather and not finish them after a prime time. So Tenka tells her to not underestimate her opponent and she should have given her best rather than being so lazy. Yachiho says she understands that while she looks miserable. Tenka says further that in other words, Yuki worked so hard that he also became a decoy at the end too, and he really is a slave, a loyal one. How could he not be loyal when his rewards were literally so mouth-watering? On the other hand, inside the barrier, they all are waiting for them to come back and Shushu says that both of them are taking so long to come back so she will go and see them. Could be that she is about to become a part of the reward. She tells Kiyo that she will drink some water too because her throat is all dry because of cheering so much. Kiyo tells her to not drink too much water because her match is next. Shushu says she would do so. She is walking out thinking that Himari has proved herself and she wants to show Yuki how cool she is and now it is her turn to do so. Well, Yuki and Himari are doing something else. Himari is leaning on Yuki and he seems to be in heaven. Yuki is squished behind her honkers, favorite place to be. She says thanks to him and because of him, Himari was able to defeat her sister and win against her. She says to him that these words were not part of a reward, and she means those words to him. Now the reward begins. Oh, the weebs seem excited, and of course, why wouldn't they be excited? Most of them are seeing their imaginations through anime. Himari comes near him and begins biting and sucking his lip, and suddenly pushes him away, saying that she was forced to reward him like that, and it is a very indecent reward. Well, the indecency is what attracts the loser like y'all because of their 32 years of virginity. So she takes Yuki's head again and begins kissing his lips. Yuki is lost in his own heaven and thinks that her tongue is really sharp like a knife, but her lips are very soft. He is nervous too and says to her that is she sure that she should not return home. Himari stops him from escaping his reward, and she says she doesn't want to return and wants to stay with the commander while Yuki's head is still in her hands. Though being trapped in thighs is something any guy would have preferred, she tells him that the commander helped her when she was in a tough time, so she will stay back no matter what. After that, Himari starts licking his lips and Yuki is literally dying out of nervousness, but enjoys it to the fullest as well. Understandable why he is enjoying being a slave. Then Himari steps back and says she is sorry that she has been so hard on him all this time and strict to him, but now she can see that guys are not so bad. Wait until she gets trapped with her uncle who demands a hug at all times. Yuki is so moved and shocked to hear it that he changes her opinion on men and literally freezes. Himari tells him that he does not need to feel so nervous and talking formally will be more awkward for him. Then Himari turns back and says that kisses really are the prize, so he does not have the right to get any wrong ideas. Yuki yells that he knows that, and Himari leans in on him to kiss him again. Meanwhile, Shushu was standing outside hearing all this, and she seemed to be sweating. She thinks that now she knows that rewards mean that you have to put your body on the line, and she keeps standing against the wall. Meanwhile, inside the barrier, Sahara is warming up, and Yachiho says sorry to Sahara that she lost the match, and she really did not want to lose the match, so she will leave the rest to her. Yachiho looks at Sahara and sees that she has fallen asleep while standing, so she yells at her that she can't just sleep like that in the middle of the situation. She yells that Sahara has to wake up because her match is the next. Tenka asks Sahara without moving herself how she feels. Sahara responds to her while yawning that she will give her best as usual, and suddenly some weird entities show up in the battleground. As everything in the surrounding is all blurred, a beautiful golden eye peeks at someone. As a black long-haired woman turns to face the guy, she goes on to hold his shoulder, ready to pucker her lips towards him. As the light gets a little clear, it seems to be Yuki in the embrace of a woman who is an inch away from his face. Getting closer every second to Yuki's lips, she breathes on his face as he stuns on the spot, all flushed like a cherry. Outside the room, a short blonde-haired woman with black ribbon on her head is spying on them. She is left wonderstruck where she is standing and becomes speechless to even report this to someone. With a surprised look, she understands what she means by being physically demanding. Then suddenly, she exclaims that it is not fair. Under some kind of a pink glowing disco ball, a woman erupts out of nowhere, reporting to the audience that things are turning up the heat here. She seems to be somewhere around the purple aura, just right in front of some Japanese-style house. Furthermore, she goes on to induce the upcoming round 2 to everyone. She explains that it is Shushu Tsuruga from the 7th Squadron against the 6th Squadron Sahara Wakasa, who seems to have just woken from a nap. Moreover, the announcer adds that both opponents are specialized in hand-to-hand combat skills. To spice it up a notch, she exclaims that her instincts suggest that it is going to be one intense battle. Shushu turns around to see Yuki and asks him to cheer for her. She asks him to see how she is about to knock this girl to her knees and finally clobber up. Nodding that, she gets closer to his ears, mentioning that after she wins, he can show some appreciation later when they are alone. She then walks awkwardly away and turns to him to give a thumbs up and wink like a greedy old woman. Yuki, who does not understand what just happened, is standing before her weirdly, trying to wave her goodbye. Later on, the stage is all filled with lots of girls, including a green-haired woman in pigtails who seems like she can chew everyone out in 2 seconds. However, as she has fixed her terrifying gaze upon someone, a blonde-haired woman with one earring grabs her head, scaring the shit out of her. She then tells him that she has lost the match, so she is now their cheerleader-to-be, so get prepared and hurry. Hence, she clenches her teeth hard enough that blood is about to come out, so she wishes death upon herself before she starts using these pink pom-poms. Seeing her get so frustratedly furious, she moves on from her, Then the blonde girl wishes Sahara Wakasa's soul good luck for her match up ahead. Trying to wave back at them, she tells them to count on her enough that she will make everyone proud. The battle is about to start as both contestants reach in front of each other as the announcer gets excited to start the rampage. However, with a dramatic touch, Shushu asks if they can postpone the grand show of their extraordinary abilities before they unleash the true nature of their powers like wild bears battling for some meat. She further on adds that, as if the stars collide or the moon falls on the surface, nothing stops them from getting all cozy at ripping each other's throats. They like getting all close and personal like two peas in a boiling pod. However, Sahara-chan is all cool and happy with whatever Shushu comes up with, and she tells him that she can have it. Furthermore, the announcer asks the opponent to take their places as she calls for everyone's attention. She screams at all to hold their horses because the showdown is about to start right about now. Go. As soon as it starts, they see Sahara-chan making her first move on the battlefield. Hence, she begins with her ferocious deadly kick by jumping in the air. Just as that, Shushu takes this opportunity to grab Sahara by her leg when she jumps in for the kick. Sprinting ahead with her leg, later she smashes her on the ground brutally. Following this, she sees an opportunity to go with an elbow drop on Sahara as she is laying over the ground. As soon as she is about to hit her, Sahara-chan slips away before her eyes within nanoseconds. Her elbow drop lands on the bare rocky ground and she screams in pain. Oh, that is intensively electrifying. Damn, that got hurt bad to our Shushu-chan. Nice move, bad timing. Seeing that Sahara-chan scored a scream out of Shushu, she attacks from behind while grabbing her from waist and hits her with her famous German suplex. As Shushu screams in pain and fixed in a deadly neck-breaking position, her friends gasp for air as they see her beaten up that badly. However, the spirit of this girl refuses to give up just now, as she still has some fire left in her. She stands up tall and exclaims not to think that it is done, and she has the right to walk home now. She expresses that she has cooked lots of tricks to rupture her spirits along the line. Sahara-chan is on the ground, gasping for air and panting heavily, while claiming she is super tired and wants to take a nap. All of a sudden, she starts protesting in front of Shushu to let her break off the commitment and use her abilities. Upon hearing that, everyone's expression changes all of a sudden as if they expect the war to break out instantly. A girl from the audience exclaims that it has just begun to look so good, but Sahara-chan seems to be backing out of this. Shushu, seeing the limit of Sahara-chan is at it again, she then enforces that she will unleash her powers as well. As the crazy green-haired lady tries to cheer for Sahara with her pom-poms, she asks the blonde girl how much she thinks she will come up with, asking if she thinks it is 1, to which the blonde answers that at least a 3 or 2. Afterward, the Supreme Commander watching the match thinks both of their abilities revolve around physical strength, but the blonde believes this is going to be a very small match. Later on, Shushu jumps in the air quickly to launch a paradigm shift attack as she transforms into a humongous giant and stands before Sahara-chan. However, Sahara-chan, seeing how big she has become, gets super excited to see how neatly she pulled this off. Fired up while seeing Shushu using her potential abilities, Sahara-chan gets ready to show off her skills. Further on, she screams for Mad Sheep as her hair starts rising with a yellow-golden ignition. This girl looks as if she has taken sage training just like Naruto. But everyone has their own reason to power up in beast form, even if they get all this glowy, sparkly hair. If anyone tells me I will get incredible hair from doing sit-ups, then I would have managed to get 12 packs by now. Showing Shush-chan 3 fingers, unable to wait for this Mad Sheep dance, Shushu ignores Sahara-chan and goes to smash her with her smacking hot punch. Screaming out the AKM, out of fun, she sits on her knees while smashing her body deeper in the rocks. But to her surprise, Sahara-chan swiftly gets out of the way and dodges Shushu's brutal fist attack. Spotting her flying in the sky, all glowing as if she bathed in honey, Sahara-chan exclaims that paper always beats rock. Within a few seconds, Sahara has launched an attack at her and nudges the giant Shushu out of her way, even as a tiny thing. Falling on her knees, she looks at Sahara-chan with disgust, as she enjoys her victory over rock, paper, scissors. Sahara dances off on a rock beside Shushu, where she screams at Sahara that this golden cockroach cheated totally. Later on, the announcer reads the situation and tells the audience how heated the battle has become. She further mentions that Sahara has released her Mad Sheep ability out in the open. Moreover, she adds that the Mad Sheep ability makes Sahara super strong and increases her strength even further. As she charges ahead with a specific amount of time, It increases even more as she further advances in the battle. To elaborate further, the announcer adds that in 1-minute minimums or to count 60 minutes as maximum. Moreover, she mentions that the shorter the amount of time she is left with, the stronger she becomes, so it is definitely a win-win situation for her. As Sahara-chan makes idiotic faces towards Shushu to provoke her to an even greater degree, the announcer elaborates even further about her powers. Although she has a compulsory fixed timer set on her super abilities, she also possesses a 3-minute cooldown period. Later on, Sahara kicks Shushu-chan on her ankle, and she starts jumping like bunny hopping on the battlefield. She further teases Shushu that, not gonna lie, her size is super awesome, but it makes her lose the ability to dodge. As she holds her ankles, Sahara-chan showers her with lots of rocket, targeting especially to her precious bunny face. However, hiding behind them, she launches another attack to her belly and smashes her inside that throws her a mile away. Falling before her team, Yuki calls out to Shushu. She asks him to never stare her with that look ever again. Sahara-chan, with a golden spirit, is getting powerful with each passing minute, and mocks Shushu if she is ready to give up now. Taking a hold of herself, hence she assures the tiny firefly that she still has it in her, to which Sahara praises the giant's guts. Panting heavily, she asks herself why she is so determined in winning this. Then, a little voice calls out in her mind that having a boyfriend reeks of everyday fun. As she flashes back to her school day memories, where she is on the rooftop with her friends. Her friend shares her emotions of love, as how her life has been since he became a part of it, and seeing him happy turns her day to a delightful ray dew sunshine. Upon hearing that, Shushu, seeing how her friend is so devoted to him, she expresses that she is not even a little bit interested in romance. Adding to that, she expresses that she desires for something exciting. As something comes up, everyone looks at the phone, as Shushu thinks that she wants to join the member recruitment language settings. She bets that no day will bore her if she goes to Meadow. As her friends wishes that she scores this one, she comes back to reality, asking Yuki to keep his eyes on her and watch her rise against the obstacles. As she stand against, Sahara-chan mocks her that she has gotten it damn easier until now, but she sure is gonna crush her if she keeps on getting up. Moreover, she teaches her that her size is gonna cause more problems to her if she does not understand what position she is in. Asking that she desires her to shorten her size, that kind of bullshit reeks of snoozefest and sort of boring. Further on, as she takes a ground-shaking step, while she reminds that her motto is to go big or go home. Again, Shushu-chan calls for a paradigm shift in the air, and gets even bigger on top of Sahara-chan. Seeing how she is about to be crushed under Shushu's new move, she screams before facing the agony. Everyone notices that they did not expect Sahara to get it this worse. Bangs. Shushu has succeeded, smashes the tiny Sahara-chan under her gigantic body. But to everyone's, including Shushu's surprise, she has successfully withstand this paradigm shift as well, by trying to lift her from underneath. All of a sudden, she does not see Shushu's hand about to grab her as if she is a cockroach. She then teases her, saying that oh no, she is so huge for her that she cannot even dodge her straight. Clenching her in her fist, Shushu slams her in the ground, almost crushing her over the rock. Successfully, Sahara-chan is stickered to the rocky ground, with her golden light smushed away further deep. Later on, Shushu shrinks back to her normal giant size. The referee comes to her and asks if she can spot Sahara-chan as unconscious. Everyone in the 7th Squadron is surprised that she won from Sahara-chan. As the referee is about to end this match, Sahara instantly stands up, bursting in golden flames as if she has sucked in all the energy. Not gonna lie, it feels like Sahara-chan seems to be somewhat related to our beloved son Goku, who also does not seem to give up anyway. That is going to be tough for Shushu-chan, cause this seed is gonna came her ass out of this battlefield. Yuki gets appalled along with everyone to see she has gotten back up with even better golden burst. The cheerleader laughs at his stupidity to think that Sahara can just easily fail to bring victory home to them. Moreover, she adds that during the active status of her ability, if she gets unconscious, then the hell is about to break loose. She obtains a far better killer instincts that starts following her body, which then continues the battle without her consciousness. Like Flash, she is standing close to Shushu's face, scaring the heck out of her. As her leader adds, Sahara can take a nap wherever she likes because that is her mysterious secret weapon. As Shushu is found slammed over the ground, the referee does her counting and claims that the victory belongs to Sahara Wakasa. Afterward, the referee heals Shushu-chan as his team reaches in hurry. She tells them not to worry cause she is just exhausted. As they get her the coat to cover herself, Shushu apologizes to disappoint her Supreme Commander, who tells her that they will discuss where she can improve later. So for now she must rest and heal up. With her permission, she starts walking out the field while taking up the speedy pace, as she is on the verge of crying like a baby because she lost before Yuki. Afterward, Yuki knocks her door asking if she needs anything to drink or he can grab it for her until she dresses up. She refuses on the spot, saying she is doing okay, but Yuki insists if there is anything she would like for him to do, since he is a great caretaker. Making a gloomy face, she expresses that it would be great if he wipes her hideous battle's memories, to which he says that it sucks for them that she did not take victory home, but it is not pitiful at all, because she gave her best out there and he watched everything. Asking if he is honest about it, to which Yuki expresses that he wishes he could have watched the start of her wrestling. Moreover, she asks Yuki to close her eyes for a second. After a few seconds, she comes out without her coat, with her torn-apart clothes, and kisses Yuki on the spot. However, Yuki falls on the wall in surprise, and she tells him that she mentions to close the eyes, but he did not listen. To that, she replies that kiss was used as a bigger shock to tackle the shock of losing. Later, the Supreme Commander asks the Nei if she find any animalis in Mato. She believed there is nothing out the ordinary. However, someone spots her spine that shakes her spirit. She finds out that they are aware that she is sensing them. So their cover has been blown. She asks Nei to say hello to everyone as she calls the battle has just begun. Upon asking Nei as what is wrong, the ground starts shaking and erupting. Soon, they spot hundreds of Shuki coming out of the ground. They are terrified to see what is happening, but a girl confirms that they will not be able to penetrate through her rock-solid barrier. She just needed to say that, and Shuki just came inside the barrier as if it was nothing for them. Therefore, they mock the barrier and calls it flimsy as the girls back away from them when they spot a humanoid coming their way. Furthermore, the humanoid expresses himself that this oddity fills him with a burst of laughter, and he introduces himself as Raren. All of a sudden, he launched an attack that cracks all the barriers that are even miles away. The Supreme Commander commands everyone as she call off the exhibition march in emergency. Another humanoid wrecks inside, saying that it is the time where the cockroaches like them gets crushed under their foot. With that, he exclaims that even though these guys are the dying breed, seeing them struggle makes him get a thunderous laugh. Hence, the Supreme Commander takes her sword out and calls everyone to stand together to battle these humanoids. She calls Tenka, and she understands her, that she will assist the non-combatants to their dorm rooms. She will make sure Nei's reports reaches her soon enough. With her last command, she asks everyone to destroy anything that tries to run past them. While that is happening, the battle rages on with the killer instincts on every side. The Supreme Commander launches the first attack, clearing the way for the warriors behind her. Afterward, Shushu and Yuko reaches the battlegrounds and meets the commander. However, she asks her if she can fight even after getting all worn out. She smiles and calls for her paradigm shift and knocks a Shuki out of his way as she calls him to taste the dirt of her shoes. Adding to that, she exclaims to Supreme Commander that she already feels her fired-up spirit back to normal. As she is about to get hit by a Shuki, Sahara-chan swoops in to kick his butts out of the way. With that out of the way, she jumps to her shoulder saying she will cover her. Enemies before, partners in battle now. As for our tiny and giant combo, they sure are clearing the field better than anyone else. As the humanoid sees the situation gets out of their hand, a warrior spots his ass asking if he is twerking away from the field so soon. Therefore, Himari launches the attack on him, but he dodges every single bullet through his hands. Calling on above, he cries out that he chooses her to burn her into fine crisps. All of a sudden, the lightning strikes towards her from the sky, and she is saved by none other than our beloved pigtailed cheerleader, Yachiho. As the both looks at each other, they decided to crack this shit up back to hell. With her rage on par, she tells the humanoid he is going to pay for it. Himari runs to the Supreme Commander and asks her to let her borrow Yuki's back with her. Yuki questions this insanity, but Commander tells him to trust her. With her permission, he transforms into his new form, Eternal Chains for Salva's War Cloud. He exclaims that power is flowing through his body as both of them joins him on his back. Recalling back his precious battle, he states that he will use the exact same technique as Bran Break to gather his energy. Calling out the Howling Blast, he launches attack, and they both experience what it is like to have two masters ride him. So, the Supreme Commander assured her that they can easily sweep the grounds clean from these pests. She asks what she can do for Yachiho, to which the commander mentions that 6th Squadron has already arrived to her needs. Hence, she tells him not to forget Tenka. Furthermore, somewhere else, Tenka asks Nai to give her some battle intel of all the grounds. After explaining everything, she adds that there are 2 more humanoids, but she cannot sense their presence at all. Therefore, she then thanks her for her guidance as she leaves through her portal. Later, upon reaching the battlefield, she thinks that she will not let the Supreme Commander outshine her in this war, so she spots Yachiko immediately. All of them together on the battlefield as they both scream that the enemies must prepare for the Commander's showdown right about now. The referee screams that it is still dreadful torture on these poor guys, as Lady Tenka and Lady Q are going to go all out. She hates that she is stuck here, and Nai adds that it is due to the sturdiest barrier of the dorm. Hence, watching the referee suffer from not experience one of the craziest battles of all the time, Nai asks her to put her hand over her shoulder. Furthermore, she adds that she will be able to spectate the match through her glance. As Nai's words run past her ears, she hugs her tightly, calling her the best censor in the town. Furthermore, she cheers for Lady Q as she makes the Shuki bow down before her. Reporting further, she adds that Shuki cannot be taken down with normal weapons. Only the Medo power given to them by Peaches and the specialized weaponry surged with Peach's power are the only methods to crush these creatures. Even in this, there are exceptional cases like Lady Kyoka Uzun. Recalling back her life, she severely trained herself at a sacred mountaintop before a fountain to improve her unique way of combat skills that now aids her in slashing the beasts before there. Moreover, she learned the essential skills to crush the Shuki into dust, without relying on someone else's powers. With that, she landed a position as high as Supreme Commander. The referee screams as her clothes tears apart while seeing the Supreme Commander's enchanting battle skills. With Yuki as her ride, she is blasting away the swarms of Shuki with no additional sweat. Furthermore, on Yachiho's sidelines, she calls for the golden hour as to freeze the time for 5 seconds to dodge all his attacks. Thinking that how they can be this capable, suddenly the humanoid hits Yachiho's arm. Boiling in her rage, she exclaims that no matter how many limbs, she will still be able to pull off anything with grace, as persistent as she can be, with rewinding her time to buy herself some more to figure out a strategy to finish him once and for all. She is in her knees, ready to take him out as humanoid gets all fired up, while muttering that it is time to eliminate her existence. Panting heavily and looking towards the humanoid's exclusive move bottling up for her, she gets startled to find Lady Tenka by her side. She asks her to swap places with her now. The humanoid is wondering why she said to take it easy when they are crushing these pests one by one so easily. As the fog clears up the battlefield, humanoid gets the answer as to why Lady Tenka mentions to take it easy. She expresses that she already finishes any Shuki that could have a nerve to interfere with our little tea party. After hearing her, he can spot nothing from a mile away except the blue flames raging from every side. Moreover, she states that the report claims there are still 2 more humanoids cowering in the shadows among their army. But to his dear luck, she says that she is going to play with him first. The humanoid scanning her power and seeing her charisma lighting the field's hype even more. He says that this is just about to get even better. Hyoka and others are under attack by some huge beasts of this demon realm. Hyoka has transformed MC into the metallic creature that is going to help her. This form allows MC to be much stronger and faster than usual, and this is the very thing Hyoka needs. She is right now on MC and Himari is alongside her. Both of them are on MC, and they are fighting this huge monster. The monster attacks them and MC manages to block it off, but the little ones just keep coming at them. MC cannot believe just how many those are, and he is getting overwhelmed by this. Hyoka wants him to not sweat even a little bit as she has a plan. Himari wants to help, but Hyoka does not let her as she wants to take care of this herself. After a little more back and forth, Hyoka was looking for an opening and she got it. She takes the chance and tells MC and Himari to just stay back while she handles this monster. She jumps off MC with the sword in her hand and slices through this beast, cutting him in half. The beast falls down in 2 pieces. Himari cannot believe how cool and strong Hyoka really is. She praises Hyoka a lot while MC is just straight up impressed. This is exactly why she is the commander of this defense force and why she can be the supreme commander. She is aiming to reach that level one day and only MC can take her there. She needs MC as much as MC needs her, so it is a fair trade. On the other hand, we see Shushu having fun herself being a giant using her ability. She is beating Shukis here and there and just straight up dealing with the job at hand. Whereas we see Tenka and her underlings at work as well, right where Kyoka and others were fighting. They were fighting this monstrous man with impeccable capabilities, and it is not an easy fight to win. Yachiho is just watching as Tenka and Sahara take on these enemies. Sahara is doing her job perfectly and taking care of these Shukas and every other monster that comes her way. At the same time, we see Tenka, the commander of the other defense force, ready to take on this monstrous fella. She looks pretty rough, in a nice way if that makes sense. The huge guy is pretty strong, and he is pretty confident in himself that he is going to crush Tenka just like that. He tells her to back off already and let him do what he wants to. He is trying to convince Tenka to not fall in line with others he faced before and follow their fate of death. He wants to spare her life and tell her that if she leaves him be, he will do the same. Tenka does not want to listen to this guy anymore and just tells him that she cannot wait to kill him and get out of there. The guy gets pissed off and he is ready to take this fight to a whole new level now. He tells her that she still has a chance to leave as of now, but Tenka does not care. The guy tells her that this fight is going to be over in the blink of an eye and she is going to regret it in the afterlife. Yachiho is just standing and watching Tenka fight as she knows her commander is the one with many abilities. She is going to win this fight pretty easily, so she has no worries. Anyways, the huge guy starts the fight and charges a huge blast. After taking his time, he aims at Tenka and blasts her with all of his power. He is pretty confident that this got her, and he is a little disappointed as well. He thought Tenka was their leader, and he thought she was going to put up a good fight. But he feels like the way she got crumbled just now is the thing he really expected from a pest like her. He is laughing and enjoying his so-called victory for now before Tenka shows up in front of him. Coming out of nowhere, Tenka is untouched, and with this, she tries to kick him in the face. The guy gets out of the way in time, and he is very offended seeing how a little pest just tried to kick him. He tells Tenka that a little opponent like her trying to kick her like that is very arrogant, and he hates that. He has no worries though, as his flesh is like a metal, and she cannot cut through that easily. Saying this, the guy blasts her with an attack using his mouth. Tenka gets away in time using her different portal ability, and she is unharmed. She shows up behind him and uses her wind ability to attack the guy head-on. He takes a little bit of damage, and seeing how he got a little wounded worries him. He was not expecting this little pest to be this strong that he had to take a blow from her. Now he is really mad, and he is not going to let her get away with this. We see Nae and Jinna watching this fight from afar away, and Jinna is very excited to see Tenka fight like this. She cannot stop praising just how strong and powerful Tenka is. She tells Nae that Tenka has very unique abilities, and she can use those abilities to get away in time, even if it is an ambush. But she knows that Tenka does not have to run away. Nae is very happy seeing Tenka take care of this humanoid as well. Jinna explains that these two commanders are the best ones, as they have devised a plan to take out these monsters and wipe out their entire fleet in no time flat. The thing that shocks her the most is that these two did it inside their head without any real-life experience. That is the reason these are the commanders of these defense forces. As she tells Nae this, she gets very excited and starts shaking Nae violently, which she does not like. Anyways, back to the fight, and the huge guy is pretty pissed seeing how easily Tenka wounded him. He wants to get a payback, and now he is getting serious. He tells her that this time he is not going to fool around. He is fighting for real this time, and he is just going to blow you to smithereens. Saying this, he uses his thunder-like attack and rains bolts of lightning on Tenka. Thinking that this is one thing Tenka cannot avoid, he is very happy and confident. But what he sees shocks him. Tenka is right where she was when the lightning struck, and she is untouched again. She is very impressive, and this makes him very nervous. Kyoka and others are watching her fight, and Kyoka is pretty confident in Tenka, knowing quite well that she can handle this humanoid. Anyway, Tenka tells the guy that he was wrong for thinking that the fight was over, and now he is going to regret it. Saying this, Tenka teleports using her portals and shows up behind him, landing a hard punch on him. Get this guy out of this Sigma male group. He just got punched by a lady. This punch hurt like hell, but there is something different. The guy opens his eyes and he finds himself in another dimension. He is astounded seeing how her little punch just teleported him into an entirely different dimension. Now he knows that this Tenka is not to mess with, and he is now fighting for his life. Jinna, on the other hand, is out of bounds seeing how Tenka just used another one of her great abilities to conquer this fight. She explains that Tenka has godlike abilities, and she can actually warp space-time around her whenever she wants. Now, Tenka uses this chance to end the fight. She uses her vacuum ability, and seeing how vulnerable this guy is, she sucks him out of this existence and vanishes him. Seeing this fight surely makes Kyoka proud. MC is flabbergasted seeing how capable Tenka really is. Tenka says that even with those huge defenses, they are not of use in front of her space-time warping ability. She walks toward Kyoka and MC, and as she is walking, MC cannot stop thinking just how strong she is. He remembers what Kyoka wants to be. Kyoka took MC and just because she wanted to be the supreme commander of these defense forces, but now seeing just how strong other commanders are, he is not so sure. One thing he knows is that having this dream is one of the most ambitious goals he has ever seen. Kyoka tells him that no matter what, she is going to be the supreme commander and no one can stop her. Now with this, Kyoka wants the rest of them to take out the stragglers and wipe them out. MC thinks about it, and he feels like he cannot just stand there gawking at Kyoka. He has to be himself. He came here to be a hero in the motto, not be a slave to someone. Anyways, after all the fighting, they get back and Nay reports to them about the other enemies she detected during the fight. Himari tells both the commanders that she and others tried to find them, but they were nowhere to be seen. They searched every nook and cranny, and they still came up empty-handed. This is very disappointing, but Shushu has a point. She feels like those enemies might have gotten blown up in those huge blasts, so they do not have to worry. Tenka does not agree with her because those blasts were very peculiar and they could not have hit them. Nay is disappointed in herself and apologizes for not helping the right way. She knows that she has the ability of foresight, but still with that, she was not able to detect those enemies before. Tenka and Kyoka assure her and pat her on the head, saying that she does not have to be this hard on herself. Kyoka thinks that those enemies might have a cloaking ability, and Tenka feels that Nay telling them about them before they attack them was a good thing. So it happens, and she should not dwell on these things. Both of them start pinching and pulling Nay's cheeks like a little girl. Tenka looks at MC and goes to him, saying that he was pretty good out on the field. She thought he was no good, but he proved her wrong. MC gets nervous and tells Tenka that he is nothing compared to her. Jinna out of nowhere comes running to MC with a pencil and a paper in hand. She tells MC that she never thought a slave would be this powerful and capable, and now that she has seen that, she knows that even boys can be cool sometimes. She wants MC to give her an autograph. She is way too assertive here, and Tenka tells MC that now he even has a fan of him. This is pretty great for MC though. On the other hand, Himari goes up to Yakiho and tells her that she is pretty grateful for her saving Himari. Himari was about to be blown to pieces, but Yakiho came in time and got her out of there in one piece. Yakiho does not want her to know the real reason she saved her, so she starts to pretend that she did not do it for her. She did it for the family name, as both of them are Azumas. She would not have let an Azuma get killed like that, so she did it just for the family name. Himari still is very grateful though. Yakiho assumes that she is just a self-doubting type of a person, so she tells Himari that if she doubts her capabilities and wants them struck out of her, she can come to Yakiho. But Himari humbly tells Yachiho that she cannot leave here as the 7th Squadron is her home. This was not what Yachiho was expecting, and she was left shocked. She is pretty white ash because of utter shock. Kyoka comes to Tenka and tells her that writing a report about this is going to be pretty hard. As for the exhibition match, they can call it a draw. Kyoka and Tenka wanted to have a one-on-one to see who is above the other, but the time is not great. Tenka tells Kyoka that she was really looking forward to that one-on-one, but they can do it some other time. With this, Tenka gathers her squadron and leaves. After they leave, MC is pretty beat and tells everyone that he is going to take a good long warm bath. Kyoka and Himari grab MC and take him to a room. There they push him to the wall and tell him to strip off his clothes. This is the reward MC is going to get today, and MC cannot believe that he is going to get both of them at the same time. Kyoka is pretty serious that she is going to reward MC this way, as he actually did take down a substantial number of Shuki today. Himari cannot believe that she is doing this, but she has to because of Kyoka's orders. MC still cannot fathom that he is going to get both Himari and Kyoka at the same time. He looks at Kyoka, and she looks pretty beat but sweaty at the same time. She takes off her clothes one by one and says that she knows this is the price, but she is always pretty surprised by how strong MC is. Himari finds all of this pretty indecent. MC looks at Kyoka, and she is completely naked. He cannot believe that Kyoka is going to get in the bath with him. Kyoka is waiting for MC to take off his clothes, so she scolds him to take them off quickly. He does it, and with that, Himari, MC, and Kyoka get in the bath. They are scrubbing MC, and Himari cannot seem to find this even a little bit decent. She shares that she did not think about what they were going to do when they stripped out of clothes like that. MC tells her that he wants to just take a nice refreshing bath and nothing else. They are the ones who put him here. Himari finds this pretty embarrassing, and she tells herself that it is just like bathing a dog and nothing else. She is talking way too fast, and MC does not understand her when she talks like this. Anyways, Kyoka is scrubbing MC from the back and suddenly pushes her body gently with MC's, asking him if he is more tired than usual today. He tells her that he is. The reason is that he had 2 masters today. 2 masters at once took a lot out of him. He is not used to having 2 masters at the same time, so he has to really get used to this. Himari feels like this thing with the 2 masters makes him way too strong, but it is not to be taken lightly. He has to stay alert and pull a little back if it starts to get a little too much. Kyoka shares that she is happy with the way they have started using the slave, and in the future, they have to find more ways to make him stronger. They have to fully unlock the potential of this slave so they can fully use him to make Mado a much safer place. MC is pretty beat, but the scrubbing Himari and Kyoka did help him a lot. Both of them get in front of him and hold his hands, saying that he has to rest for now. He has to be fully rested before the next fight as they need him. They hold his hands and just give him the best view of their bodies, which leaves MC bewildered. He is not in his senses anymore. This dorm's warm bath is something he can use to rest and relax. After all the relaxing and resting, they get out of the bath and Nae gets to work. She is tasked with drawing pictures of the enemies she detected. After some time, she does her best to draw them as precisely as she can, and it is pretty great. It is going to help them a lot, but one thing makes MC pretty weirded out. He looks at these 2 enemies, and he does not notice the one that looks like his sister. He thought the enemies Nae was talking about were the ones including that girl who looked like his sister, but he was wrong. He cannot stop thinking about it now, and he goes to bed with this in mind. He feels like the enemies Nae spotted were a different group, so he is mistaken. He goes to sleep, but we see someone show up in his room through a portal. It is Tenka, and she has a pretty unpredictable smile on her face. The next day, we see MC with Himari and Kyoka on the jeep, heading towards someplace. They reach the place, and we see that it is the 5th Squadron dorm. MC thinks it looks the same as the ones they live in, and Kyoka explains that he is right. All the dorms have somewhat the same exterior, though they might be different from the inside. This Squadron dorm is at a place with so many visitors, so this one is the nicest. Anyway, Tenka greets them and apologizes for making them trek here at this time. Kyoka does not mind as a change of scenario is needed some time. She takes them in and asks them if they got into any trouble coming here or not. Kyoka lets her know that they took down a single Shuki, that's it. They get to Tenka's office and Kyoka tells Himari and MC that she and Tenka are going to have a meeting here. While they do, Himari should get acquainted with the 6th Squadron. MC, on the other hand, should just do what he does back at the 7th Squadron's dorm. MC knows what Kyoka told him. He is going to be the caretaker of this squadron as well while he is here. He tells Tenka that she should not worry about anything as he will get everything cleaned in no time. Tenka tells him that their caretaker has gone out and he will be back after some time, so he just has to do the job till then. MC assures her that it is taken care of and she can leave this to him as all the defense forces should have each other's backs. Tenka lets Himari know that some of the members have gone out on the expedition, but others are here at the dorm, so she can look around as she pleases. With this out of the way, MC gets to work and he starts by cleaning. He is ready to show this squadron just how well he can clean. He takes the things he needs and goes to start with the kitchen. He goes in and takes a look around, only to find it already cleaned. He goes to the dining hall, which is cleaned as well. He takes a look around the whole place and everything is cleaned to perfection. He was pretty amped up for this, but he knows that his job is already taken care of. He finds a vase though with a stain on it. He feels like Formula 5 is the choice here as baking soda is not going to do the job. After getting that stain, he gets to the laundry and he goes only to see a bunch of undies. He knows this is just what he does every day back at the 7th Squadron, but still, it is very nerve-wracking. He tries to calm himself down, but he gives up, knowing that this is never going to be something he can get used to. After that, he goes around and has to get something for Yachiho to her room. He goes outside her room and thinks about how she is Himari's big sister. He knows the last interaction with her was not great, so he has to be careful and calm near. After some knocks, he does not get a response, so he thinks that she is not here at the moment. He opens the door so he can put the thing in the room and leave, but what he sees shocks him. The whole room is filled with Himari's pictures, and wherever you look, it is just Himari. Her pictures from when she was a child to now, everything is on the wall. NC is stuck in place, but he has to get out of here while he can. He puts the thing and gets the hell out of there. He runs far away and reaches the living room. There he sees something he was not expecting. It is Sahara, and she is sleeping in only her underwear on the sofa. The position she is sleeping in is way too suggestive with her private parts exposed. He cannot believe that she is sleeping here of all places. But she does not have a blanket on her, so MC picks up the blanket and tries covering her with it. As he gets closer, Sahara grabs him by the neck and shoves his face right between her melons. MC cannot fathom what is happening to him. He feels like Sahara is mistaking him as her pillow, so he just has to get out of there with force. He tries, but Sahara does not let him get away. She grabs him by the legs now, and the grip she has is unmatched. She is the best fighter of this squadron, and it is very noticeable by looking at just how strong she is. NC knows this for the fact that he cannot get away now. With a little bit more back and forth, Sahara shoves MC's face down south forcefully. This is heaven for NC, but he has to get away right now before someone sees him like this. Being the only guy has perks, I guess. But who sleeps like that? He tries his best to get out of this situation, but Sahara is just way too strong. After some efforts, MC gives up even though he wishes to leave. After some time, Sahara wakes up and finds MC's face in her underwear. MC explains everything, so Sahara apologizes for doing this. She tells him that she totally forgot about the 7th Squadron coming here today. They walk together and find Himari just standing and watching someone. We see that it is Yakio she is watching. They both go to ask Himari what she is doing. She tells them that she is waiting for Yakio to get free from her training so she can talk to her. Sahara asks Himari what she thinks about her big sister. She tells her that her personality is a little rude, but she is phenomenal academically and athletically. Sahara feels like someone's peak strength comes from their personality and the thing they desire, and in the case of Himari, is that she looks upon her big sister. In the case of Yakio, she just wants to spend some time with her little sister. She has been longing to see her little sister and would love to see her sometime. This makes Himari nervous, but she tells Sahara that what she said last was a little stretched. Sahara asks MC if she is wrong, and she agrees with Sahara. He also thinks that Himari should spend time with Yakio. MC hands her a towel to go and gives it to Yakio. She goes and gives Yakio the towel to soak off. She takes the towel with a smile but gets to her rude behavior again, grabbing it roughly. Himari gets pissed off, saying that Yakio should at least say thanks, but this is just how she is. Sahara looks at them and is happy seeing how they are getting along when they are not. She feels like Himari would really understand if she saw Yakio's room. NC thinks that is not really something they should tell Himari right now. On the other hand, a meeting between Kyoka and Tenka is going great. They are discussing different things, especially the humanoids that have been showing lately. They are having tea and some snacks as well, so the vibe is great. Kyoka lets Tenka know that the humanoids were not seen after the last attack, so they might be planning something. They have to attack them first and take the first move, as it will give them the upper hand. Also, a large crater was made in the last couple of days, and a whole lot of shukas came out of that. She knows that they encountered that humanoid after those shukas, so they should start their investigation from that. Tenka has no issue with anything Kyoka has said so far. Kyoka asks her what she thinks about the humanoid, if he is dead or not. Tenka tells Kyoka that she did try to kill him, but she doesn't think he is dead. Meanwhile, we see Shikoku lying using her mobile when the huge guy Tenka fought shows up. His name is Raren, and it is Shikoku who saved him. She tells him that she is happy that Raren is fully recovered now. Raren thought he was dead, but Shikoku jumped in and got him out of there in time. With that, Shikoku tells him that he should be glad that he has her. Now she asks Raren what he thinks should be the optimal plan to take down the Demon Defense Forces. Raren was planning on launching a full-blown attack, but that failed. Shikoku wants to evaluate the information they have till now. She knows she took down the 3rd Squadron herself, and it was a piece of cake. But the thing is, their commander was not with them. This recent fight was to see the real strength of a commander, and it blew her expectations way out of the blue. She knows that they cannot take them head-on, so they should wait for now. Raren does not like to sit back and wait, but Shikoku has a point. She tells Raren that his plan failed, and now they are going with hers. They are going to wait till all of the 8 people are gathered. Only then, they are going to strike. Raren has no issue with the plan, but he hates when Shikoku calls them people. He does not want to be seen as a human. Joryu gathers Shikoku and likes humans very much. She tells Joryu that she is just because they are such complex fellas. She is very curious to see what they can do when they are pushed to their limits. Back at the meeting, everything is complete, and Kyoka asks Tenka if there is something else she would like to discuss. There is, and Tenka asks Kyoka if she can give her NC, the little slave, for some time. Kyo says to Tenka in a slightly alert tone that if Tenka wants her to give her slave boy Yuki, with her arm around the sofa. Tenka says yes, she wants Yuki for the 6th squad, while looking downward. Further, Tenka says that she has always been the top kid until she got this position, and everything has gone smoothly, but she feels really bored in her private life. So to make her life more amusing, she wants a pet. Where do I have to submit my application to be her pet? I'm sure I will be a good one. Then Tenka says that she wants a boy who will soothe her and make her feel recharged at the end of a hardworking day. So Tenka says to Kyo that if she can be flexible and give her slave to Tenka, she will vouch for her in the next Supreme Commander election. Hearing her, Kyo gets up and says that she will become the Supreme Commander through her own work and herself. Further, she tells Tenka that she won't use her subordinates as a chip for some bargain to get her somewhere. Tenka is surprised by her answer, and Kyo begins walking away, saying that the purpose of this meeting is over, so she will go now. But Tenka stops her and says, "What about the part where she is dating her slave during his private time?" Which of course grabs Kyo's attention. On the other hand, our knave slave boy, Yuki, is shocked that Tenka wants him, and Kyo tells him that yes, she apparently needs stress relief. Of course she will use him as his stress-relieving ball. And Mary says that by stress relief, she means that she wants a pet. Kyo says that is exactly how she said it. Hearing that, Yuki gets even more shocked than happy. His ungrateful ass should be grateful that he is being surrounded by some heavenly honkers that most of us die for. Yuki says to her that he is the caretaker of the 7th squad. Kyo says that he completely gets that their squad really needs him. Further, she says to him that she told Tenka that she had no say during his private time. Well, that leaves Yuki baffled, and he wonders that it is not like he has much private time anyway. They reach home after a while, and Shushu and Himari are taking a shower, covered up in soap, having fun while taking a shower. I bet most of your dads would sell you for the footage of the girls taking a bath and having fun because they already never loved any of you. Meanwhile, Yuki is lying on his bed, getting some rest and thinking about Tenka. He wonders if he is happy that someone as pretty as her wants him, but he is going to become a hero and not a pet that the Dom Mommies could make use of. As he closes his eyes, a pink portal opens and Tenka comes inside his room, and he gets scared. Tenka keeps her finger on his lips and tells him to shush. She says to him that Darshi came to see him in secret, totally private. Yuki literally can't believe it. She sits down beside him and says that Kyo probably already told him about this, that she is interested in him and making him her pet. Kyo sweats, and she holds his face and asks him if he will go out with her. Yuki gets shocked and asks her, not as a subordinate or a pet, but actually as a date. Tenka tells him yes, as a date and in a normal relationship. She just called him a pet because he is cute. Well, Yuki keeps panicking. Tenka says that her devotion to doing anything for their master is what makes her interested in him. Yuki sweats and takes a deep breath, and Tenka squishes him by her honkers and tells him that he is so skilled in housework. And since he is so cute and younger, it is like a stress-relieving pet. Yuki's eyes seem hypnotized by her, and she caresses his hand. Tenka gets closer to him and says that if he grows up strong, she might spoil him. Yuki is sweating heavily, and then Tenka kisses him. After she gets done kissing him, she says that it makes her heart throb and that she has never felt this way before. I feel so jealous of Yuki. They both begin having an intimate time and kissing each other. Oh well, grab your tissues, lad, mommy is about to show us something. Tenka pushes him back on the bed and says that she wanted to do it step by step, but she wants him so badly that she cannot hold herself anymore. Yuki is panicking and nervous, and Tenka takes off her upper top. She says that she is just taking her clothes off, so he does not need to worry. Yuki tells her that there is no way he can do it, but Tenka ignores him and asks him if this shirt he is wearing is an important one. He tells her very honestly that he is just wearing a cheap, normal shirt. Well, Tenka uses her magic, and his shirt gets torn off, and Yuki panics that she is abusing her ability and tries escaping. But Tenka stops him, gets on top of him again, and says that this is about the time he gives his reply to her. So Tenka gives him some options. Number 1 is that he says yes. Number 2 is that he can put this on hold because this is too sudden. And number 3 is that he turns her down. Yuki says that he chose number 2 quickly, and Tenka says to him that he wants to put it on hold because it was way too sudden. So does that also mean he is saying no to her? She whispers in Yuki's ear that now she is thinking about how to make sure that he cannot run away from her, and licks his ear. Suddenly, Shushu comes in and opens the door, saying, "Let's play a game." Well, what she did not know was that Yuki already had one, a wild as heck one. Shushu was not ready for what she saw and suddenly screamed at the top of her lungs, while Yuki felt really nervous. As expected, Tenka and Yuki get appointed by Kyo, and both of them are feeling very shy and nervous. Kyo says to Tenka that she did not know that she was such a predator before. Tenka replies that she could not control herself over the charm of Kyo's slave. Kyo says to her that she did say that she has no say in what she does during his private time. Shushu raises an objection and says that she thinks it is unreasonable to sneak into another squad's dormitory in the middle of the night. Not just that, it is also a disturbance of public morals, Shushu says. Abuse of the abilities is not allowed. Kyo looks at Tenka and says to her that if she heard Shushu, then Kyo stands up and says to Tenka that they are done and she should go back now too. Tenka gets up to go back and looks at Yuki. She says to him that she will see him next time and calls him a slave boy while winking. Then Tenka opens her portal and waves him goodbye. As she leaves, Yuki sighs and says that it was so tiresome. Kyo looks at him as if she is pissed and tells him that they have early morning training tomorrow, so he does not have to be late. He gets up and says, with spirit, that he heard her. The next morning, Kyo says to her squad that she would like to try one of her slave abilities, which is called lending. For that, she will make both Shushu and Nei able to ride Yuki in slave form. Yuki's traits may change depending on who is riding him, and there were differences between her and Himari's. So, depending on the traits, they might be able to broaden the scope of their strategies. Shushu says that trying out combo moves with the commander's ability sounds really exciting. Then Kyo says that they should start with Nei. Nei says that she will do it, and she steps forward. Then Nei says to Yuki that she would have to step on him for a bit. Yuki tells her that she does not have to worry about it. Then Nei sits on his back, and Kyo tells Nei to have a hold on his chains. As she holds her chains, Yuki's form changes, and Shushu exclaims happily that his form changed even with someone other than Himari. Even Himari says that they might be able to do it. Then Kyo asks Yuki about how this form works. Yuki tells her that he will have to move a bit and tells Nei that he is going to try it, so she needs to hold on tight. Yuki tries it, lands a few blows in the air, and then says that he does not feel as strong as before. Himari tells him that his movement got slower too. But Yuki tells them that his senses are sharper than they have ever been, both his sight and his hearing. Shushu asks him if this form is specialized in scouting, and he replies that using the same method as Brand Break, if he focuses on his eyes, he can see everything. Well, by everything, he actually means everything because he can see beneath their clothes as well. Yuki panics because he can see some dangerous stuff. Did not know that slaves can be so scared of Victoria's Secret. Himari realizes what he means and turns back, holding her melons that he can literally see through clothes. On the back, Kyo realizes that his vision has been enhanced, so he might be able to expose the monsters that are hiding. But she moves her hand and says that this is tiring her out really fast, which is of course different from Himari's learning because lending is draining a lot of her. After a bit, Yuki gets back to his human form and sits on the ground. Nei comes to him, kisses his cheek, and says thanks to him for his help. Suddenly, Nei realizes what she did, and she says sorry to him and tells him that her body acted on its own. Yuki sees her panicking and tells her to calm down. Kyo walks up and says to him that maybe that is because the borrower will pay the price. Then Kyo says that she thought that she would be the one who paid the price for lending. Nei says that it is alright. Well, now Shushu wants to try out Yuki's form too, and she seems really motivated too. Kyo asks if she is okay with it since she is going to go into a battle. The reward might be more intense than Nei's. Shushu wonders what she meant by intense and gets a bit excited thinking about it too. Kyo asks if she really is okay with it, and Shushu says that she is because the extermination of Shukis is their job, so giving the rewards won't be a problem. Kyo says that Shushu gave the right answer, so now she has to ride him. With that said, Shushu goes and jumps on Yuki. Himari and Nei think that she is doing perfectly well, and she seems enthusiastic as well. Then Yuki gets told by Shushu that she will dye him in her colors. Then Yuki changes his form again and says that the power is incredible, but the speed has dropped significantly. Himari says that it is exactly what it looks like. Kyo says that it is powerful, but such a simple trait is not worth lending. Shushu says to Kyo to at least wait a minute, and Yuki might get bigger when she uses her ability, and heroes always become bigger. Then Shushu uses her power, but she ends up crushing Yuki and injuring his wrist in an accident. Shushu ends up bandaging him, pissed off that this is the reward she got. Hyo says that she thinks it will be quite a while before they can use hers in an actual battle. Shushu frowns and says okay to what she said. Then Yuki asks Kyo if she is alright, and Kyo tells him that she thinks she should get used to it. So for the time being, she says let's focus on the traits when paired with Nei. Nei seems excited about it, and then Himari reminds her that she has to go to school now and runs to change inside. As she runs, Yuki looks at her and wonders, if he comes to think of it, why did Nei join the Demon Defense Force? Then Nei gets ready to go, with her bag on her back, and Kyo tells her to take care of herself. Yuki asks if he can take her to school because he would like to talk to her. Kyo looks at him and responds that she will allow it, and then gives him an exit pass, saying that he has to know something about his superior. Nei and Yuki walk to school, and Nei says to him that she is sorry for making him walk to school even though he has work. Yuki brushes it off, saying that she is too considerate. They both reach the Kachi passage. As they are walking, Nei asks him if he wants to know why she joined the Demon Defense Force, and he says that he really wanted to ask her that because it must be heard that she attended school while working in the Demon Defense Force. Nei says to him that she does not have to attend it every day, so that is not much of a problem. She further says that there is something she must do in the Demon Defense Force. She might be able to find her parents. Yuki doesn't know what she meant by that, so she explains to him that her mom and dad suddenly went missing one day, and they were declared missing because of metal mishap. Hearing her, Yuki says that he sees that she also lost her family like he lost his sister, who he sometimes missed a lot. Suddenly, Nei stops, looking down the bridge. She asks him if he has ever heard of this kind of story before, and then begins to tell him a story. Nei says that some people receive calls and messages from families who are supposed to be missing so they can know where they are. Yuki walks to her and says that he thinks that he has heard similar stories before as well. He turns to her and says that the entire reason she joined the Demon Defense Force is that while looking down from the bridge they both are standing on. Nei says that maybe what made her clairvoyant after eating the peach was her feeling stunning about the ability. Yuki says that this is why the name of her ability is sure to find. Promise. Nei says happily with a smile on her baby face, which is why her ability is named that way. Yuki says that he is sure that her mom and dad are still alive, because he still believes that his own sister is alive too after the incident of the metal mishap. On the other hand, Tenka is making some barbecue along with Kyo and tells Kyo that there is a message from the Supreme Commander that she would like to tell her. The message is that she said that even if they find the humanoid Shukis, they should stand by and wait for the orders, and it seems like she wanted to speak with them. Further, Tenka tells Kyo that she wants to see if they are capable of understanding and eats her food along with it. Kyo says that she does realize that they are the kind that attack without any warning. Then Tenka says that if this goes well, she thinks both the mysteries of Mato and the Shukis, the Mato mishap, can be resolved. Kyo says that it is wishful thinking while she looks really angry. Further, Tenka says that she will get there with all the commanders soon, so she can tell her own story then. Kyo looks angry and says that she can't imagine Shuki responding to the calls though. Tenka says that she thinks that they will probably end up fighting and killing the Shukis, one way or the other. She picks up her glass and says to Kyo that the 6th squad will give its full support to the 7th squad with a smile on her face. Kyo picks up her glass too and says that those are nice looks that she got there while she looks like she is really pissed on Tenka. Then Tenka says hello to the slave boy, Yuki, and Yuki is shaken to see her after the incident that happened. Kyo comes inside the kitchen and asks Yuki if he can serve Tenka a drink to have, and Yuki says that he would do that right away and begins to make a drink for her. Then he goes to grab a glass for her. As he is taking out a glass for her, Tenka blows something in his ear, and he gets scared and drops the glass, but Tenka holds it and prevents it from falling on the ground. She pats his head and says sorry to him while smiling at him. She comes closer to Yuki and says that she was just teasing him, and he does not need to feel so scared of her. Nei is literally so weirded out to see it because she is literally just a child right now. Yuki asks Tenka if she is drunk or not, and Tenka asks if he wants to check it out. Yuki yells about how that can be done. Nei covers up her eyes and says that she feels like this is something that she should not be seeing because she is still just a child and both of her hands are covering her eyes totally. Kiyo is looking at them angrily, and Kiyo is about to call for Yuki, but suddenly some alarm goes off, alerting all of them. Himari tells them that shushu, and she found multiple gate appearances during the patrol. Nei says that she has already confirmed the coordinates, and they are heading there right away while sitting in front of her computer. Kiyo and Yuki were standing behind Nei, and Kiyo then turned to Yuki and said that they should head there right away. He says to her, "Yes, ma'am." Very understandable why all the mommies want him. He listens to her current mommies like a good little pet. Tenka says that she will take them there, and Kiyo says in a very serious expression that she is thankful to her for that act of hers, while she still looks very angry at Tenka. Then Tenka, Kiyo, and Yuki reach there, and Shushu and Himari are relieved to see them because they have been surrounded by a bunch of enemies. Tenka asks Kiyo if she needs any help because she would be willing to help them. Kiyo politely says that she does not need her help at all because this is their area of jurisdiction and they will manage it all by themselves. So Kiyo asks Tenka to stay back and stay away from interfering. Tenka goes to Yuki and says to him that he should do his best out there. Yuki gets nervous and he sweats and blushes and says yes, he would, and then Kiyo yells at him to let's go because they have a fight to put up. He sits down, kisses her hand, and thinks that Kiyo seems to be in a terrible mood. Yuki transforms himself and Kiyo says that she has said before that she has no say in his private time, but now she takes it back. Yuki looks at her and Kiyo yells at him angrily that he should not be too flirty with the other squad's commanders. Even mommies get jealous. These are the only issues I ever wanted from a mommy. She tells him that he has to remember that he is her slave and sits on his back. Yuki says that whatever she says, he agrees to it. Melons and stepping so well, that made my dude stay loyal to his one and only mommy. Then Yuki runs in the direction Kiyo tells him to, and Kiyo says that it looks like he needs stricter discipline from now on, and that makes Yuki sweat. Then Kiyo heroically attacks the Shukis and says that they will kill all of them, and the slave boy does as she tells him to. Himari also participates in the fight and uses her gun to kill the Shukis. Suddenly, the ground rumbles and another Shuki emerges from the ground. Himari runs, and Shushu forms herself into a larger body and holds Himari in her palms. Himari sees that there is a new type of Shuki, which has a lot of heads and faces. Getting a head would be a dream from that kind of a Shuki. Even Tenka says that she has never seen it before in her life and that Shuki looks weird too. Though she keeps standing where she has been since she came because Kiyo told her not to participate, Yuki and Kiyo try to kill the Shuki by cutting its arm first, but it regenerates right that instant. Yuki says that it is tough, and Kiyo says that it regenerates fast as heck too. So, they land another attack and jump on the Shuki, while Kiyo says that it is time for it to submit. They cut it in the middle, and Shuki dies. Meanwhile, Shikoku, who has snakes attached to her head like she is some Medusa, has been watching over them and how they have been fighting. She says that it is over in an instant, and she really thought a modified Shuki seemed like a good idea in the beginning. Behind her stood Juryu, who literally looks like a hot female humanoid beast and has white wings too. She asks Shikoku what she has been doing, to which she responds to Juryu that she can't see that she is having fun by playing around, because humans really do love remodeling and combinations of different stuff. She is right. 3 girlfriends combined are better than 1 girlfriend. It stinks for you that you do not even have a female friend. Shikoku says that with this level of strength, it seems completely useless. Hearing her, Juryu says that she can't really understand what is going on in her head, and Shikoku says that she wonders what she should do next and smiles in an evil way, showing her teeth. On the other hand, Kiyo keeps her sword back and says that they did it. Yuki tells her that during the fight, her scolding kept him fired up. These men will be the reason the women take over the world, and we will all be slaves to them, though it would be a dream come true. Kiyo smiles and says that is that, and Yuki says yes while Tenka has been observing it all from a distance. After the entire thing is over, Tenka comes back home and she says to herself, thinking about Yuki, that he sure is a slave through and through, so that makes her even more attracted to him. She knows now that she will never be bored in her private time and smiles thinking about him. A monstrous kobold is filling up the area and running around causing one heck of a commotion. But fear not, because the commander Kyoka is leading the charge this evening to clear the way with her trusty slave, Yuki, who seems ready to kick some kobolds' faces and tails. Thus, as the commander signals Yuki to be ready, she jolts away with chains circling while it hits the beasts enough to dust them away. Weirdly, we see blue fire lots coming from their bodies as Kyoka exclaims that they have put their bodies to rest forever. A sudden appearance from the ground is then taken care of by Yuki as he jumps to smash Kobold's face into particles. She then walks towards him and pats him for doing a good job in handling orders. However, Yuki believes if he keeps up with this, he will get stronger enough to protect Kyoka all by himself. So Yuki is all in his headspace, unknowingly holding the commander in his arms as she mentions not sustaining any wounds this evening. However, as Kyoka looks down, she mutters it to be an uncomfortable reward for Nei, while mentioning it to be a waste before her, explaining how she has a hard time processing his demands, so she kisses him right away. Later, during the tea break, the commander tells Yuki to follow all the orders to a Tenka. As for today, he manages to handle the most efficient method by himself. Tenka then pokes his cheeks and compliments him for being a cutie pie as he blushes. As Shushu asks Commander Tenka to move right to their dorm, Tenka pats Yuki while praising him for being an incredible little slave. Blushingly before her, he mentions his sister for being cool enough to teach him things that made him turn this way. Upon asking how she was, Yuki flashes back to his memories of coming back home. Meeting complaints of a kid that he keeps on ignoring for bullying him, the kid's brother pats him while asking Yuki forcefully to be nice to his brother. There, a threatening voice from afar commands him to put away his hands from his brother. Laughing on seeing Yuki's sister, he charges onto her. But to his surprise, she halts his attack without breaking a sweat. She then lifts the guy and smashes him down on the other side. Looking behind, Yuki has also put the kid in his place while bragging about learning some moves from a pro wrestler like her as well. Suddenly, she hugs her for being her pride. As Tenka mentions her being a good sister, apparently Kyoka has been training him since long ago without letting him get any idea about it. While Shushu figures out what makes Yuki tick, Kyoka asks him and Tenka to take a rest for now. Suddenly, Nei senses danger from 4 kilometers south. Kyoka signals them to take the jeeps out. Turns out, kobolds are running behind someone. As they all make it there, Himari asks that person to relax for now. Reaching out to her, Himari gets a sudden blow to her guts. While revealing herself as Coco, the mysterious being introduces herself by landing a good punch. Moreover, she mentions catching some demon defense force, while Shushu spots her as a humanoid. Himari immediately takes out her broken shield, which helps him take the blow. Stunning them right where they are standing, Coco snaps a finger to make Koboldo jump out of the ground. On the other hand, Himari calls out to Coco. While tensing Coco up, she wonders if this is her peach ability to identify people. However, Shushu, with disappointment in her eyes, glares at Coco, mentioning her name at the very start. Moreover, even Himari hints to Coco that her Supreme Commander is ready to talk it out with her kind. Ignoring her blabber, Coco exclaims at being so eccentric enough to crush her into shreds and pieces. Adding to that, Yuki believes in fighting Shuki for so long that he spots the bruises thanks to Shuki. Besides, Yuki is pleased to see his muscles pumping up nicely. But that's where Kyoka barges in and claims that they are under attack, so he has to transform right away. Standing all naked before them as he asks to get dressed, Kyoka reveals that Shushu and Himari are all alone. As Himari realizes her bullets are not working, Coco introduces Kuma's mega tough armor to withstand such a petty attack. But to Coco's surprise, Himari flexes that she can adapt as well. Blasting away, Coco dodges the attack by flipping in the air, and charges in to smash Himari into the ground. On the other hand, Shushu believes in cleaning the ground from all the little Shuki. However, a sudden bug gets thrown at Shushu as she tries smashing it underhand. Moreover, it nudges her hand away, while she notices him wielding a weapon. A woman stands up from the spider to slash Shushu to the ground. There, Commander Kyoka spots him from afar as she approaches her. With a bite, Coco's hair grows enough to plant an attack, while Kyoka asks Yuki to dodge the best he can. Suddenly, Coco commands Yuki to stop at once, as she strangles him right away. After keeping Kyoka busy, Coco takes away Yuki right off her nose. Later, Kyoka expresses Yuki being the target all along to Shushu and Himari, as they already accomplished their goal. Commanding them to retreat back to the dorm, Kyoka mentions that Shushu needs medical attention right away. Calling out to his elder sister, he weirdly mentions the licking to feel really good, as Coco is going at him like he is ice cream, while Yuno orders him not to move. Coco then shares that Yuki will jump back to normal after this, while Yuki recalls being captured, but is now being licked by the enemy. Not only that, he remembers Aoba yelling his name during the fight as if the voice belongs to his sister. However, Coco does not stop the licking while sitting on his face as Yuki calls for mercy. The moment Aoba spots Coco, she strangles her while asking how she could strip her brother naked. But Yuno tells her that there has been a nasty misunderstanding because he was already naked after his transformation. Moreover, she mentions Coco having the intention of healing only. Suddenly, he calls out to his sister, as she hugs him right away while noticing how he has grown up. While patting his head, he takes a sigh of relief seeing his sister alive all this time. However, he asks why she looks like this, but she complains about him being the one without pants. Handing him some clothes, she takes him for a tour outside to show him the hidden village. Gasping to see, with no peach trees in the field, the Demon Defense Force has no reason to scout here. Noticing the same features as her sister, she explains how all former 20 humans call this place home now. Asking if Shukas are humans as well, but Aoba mentions them being only cold-blooded monsters. Though Yuki finds their species as being a special case of half-human, half-monster while their soul is still human. With open arms, Aoba highlights her desire of living together with him, so he wouldn't have to be treated like a slave anymore. However, Yuki finds it pointless to have any reason to hide herself, because she is a human. Well, that hit them as an insult, because she didn't give him an option. Coco mentions about the Demon Defense Force of being their enemy, while Aoba brags about how they enslaved his brother for all this time. Not only that, she does not approve of their hierarchy, so they cannot be allies. However, Yuki notices something strange in the air, as he believes they were just friendly a moment ago. Never mind, back at the Demon Defense Force, Himari is taking care of Shushu's wound. Thankfully, the wounds are not deep at all. Although Shushu mentions being way more worried about Yuki than her injuries, she cries out not being all whiny and weepy like a 5-year-old baby when she finds Yuki has been kidnapped by the enemy. She suddenly asks Nae if she senses him at all, but she shakes her head in dismay. Moreover, Neo mentions asking another squad to help with it, while she announces of widening her searching ground. Furthermore, Shushu asks what the commander is doing. After answering that she has locked herself inside her room since they came back, Mary assumes that the commander is under strict orders from the Supreme Commander to not attack humanoids. Though Shushu says if they keep on sitting like that, Yuki might get the worst coming at him. While Himari reveals that the enemy has a specific goal just for him, she assures Shushu that the commander will come up with something soon. Later in her room, Kyoka recalls the woman yelling and commanding Yuki. Thinking how he just obeyed someone other than his master, Kyoka finds himself being in one heck of a trouble after he comes back. Anyways, back in the hidden village, Yuki is facing hostility as he calls out to his sister. Asking how she knew about his location, Aoba mentions about sensing his little brother's presence all there. She didn't want to boost his ego, thus she kept quiet, but deep inside, she is getting excited of him being so grown up that she desires to shout it all. Moreover, she calls him a bona fide ultra hottie, while asking others if they agree. As Aoba runs to get food, Yuki apologizes for her sister's unfiltered behavior. Don't know why, but Yuna suddenly mentions that everyone loves Aoba here. Yuki then notices Coco eating the delicious red mushroom, as Coco mentions these meadow mushrooms grow here in the village. Oddly, they smell like fruit juice, making him wonder what could taste good with this mushroom as he starts to feel dizzy. He begins to think of Yuno's chest as hot buns. He grabs onto them right before his sister, who wants to pop her eyes out. Later, Kyoka expresses her body automatically moving, which signifies Yuki to be alive. So Kyoka mentions if she rewards Yuki, she becomes a living Yuki detection radar. Afterward, Yuki apologizes to his sister, while she laughs thinking it feels like old times. Spotting a Mato peach in her hands, he asks her to eat it before they are separated. Though she blurts out that being stuck between paperwork and procedure is such a pain in the ass. Moreover, she mentions a few people choosing not to devour them. However, Yuki assumes her powers might be coming from the peaches, but she hints at having a connection between them. Standing before him, Aoba blames them as being the reason for changing their appearance. Moments later, Hyoka orders Nae to stay in touch with HQ for them, so if something comes up, let her know quickly. Commander Tenka also joins them with her squad as Kyoka expresses to be the united front to get back their Yuki. Spotting a meadow peach while sitting on the edge of the mountain beside the waterfall, Yuki assumes it is the reason for her sister's powers. Yuki finding their power to be extraordinary and unearthly, he finds himself with a bundle of questions. Just then, Yuno steps in that it is her time to tell the tale of their escapades. However, Yuno mentions her story would be best to start with, while she promises more articulate content. Recalling back, Yuno mentions having a modeling career in the human world, but on an ordinary day, she got teleported into a mado mishap, while she adds about not devouring the peach. Moreover, she mentions that hoping to get her hands on some rejuvenation ability due to her love for beauty, if she eats one when she gets older. Though she finds herself not in a position to choose, as she eats, she mentions that Peach's power went overboard and haywire, causing her to collapse. She remembers being taken to the dimly lit room to a creepy old woman who explained everything that was going on, and at Anu Bureau, a research facility for studying Shuki. Yuno couldn't digest the creepy woman's blabber after that. Furthermore, the old hag mentions the theory of Meadows' miasma explaining this incident, but they need more research on it, so they find Yuno to be the perfect subject. However, Yuno refuses to be the guinea pig and asks for her beautiful body back. With some progress, the hag mentions reaching closer to the cure for this, so she asks Yuno to bear it for the sake of humanity, as she would have their deepest gratitude. Becoming a lab rat, she mentions having a silver lining for learning her ability to pass through objects, so she kept waiting for the perfect opportunity to run away with her friends. However, Koka mentions having the same story with different escaping means. Stunned to hear this, Yuki asks if his sister has gone through the same horrible past. To which, Aoba mentions about the part till where she ate a peach and it went crazy. Aoba then mentions feeling an excruciating pain as she discovers this field. Moreover, she explains how she battled to keep her human soul intact. Carrying on, she mentions meeting these two when she finally learned to take hold of herself. Yuki gives the idea of telling others about it, but Aoba mentions it to be pointless, as this serves the country's best interest. So they will utilize their connection to suppress their voices. However, seeing how Yuki is kept in the dark until they explain everything shows the weight of their story. Jolting with fury, Coco plans to destroy the Ombu Bureau and obliterate it to the ground, while rescuing anyone who faces the same danger as them. Moreover, she calls upon Kumadoji as Yuno calls for Akira. While spotting a unicorn, Aoba mentions referring to it as Kidumura, as they possess more power than Shuki. However, Coco mentions them learning their place once they are knocked around a bit. While Yuno seems ready for the battle ahead of them, Yuki accuses their plan of hurting people if they go with it. Moreover, he points out the fact that the Demon Defense Force will stop it, but Yuno knows that their Supreme Commander is aware of Ombu's atrocities. Coco reveals that if their policy hurts the likes of them, they will be seen as enemies. Moreover, Aoba assures Yuki that they are capable of fixing this mess themselves. With that, Aoba orders Coco to tell everyone ongoing is strategized while calling out for the time to warm up. Later, we see the Demon Defense Forces reaching the destination, so Shushu calls out to Yuki. Kyoka mentions her legs pushing her towards the rocks ahead of them, while Himari tells them to conceal the entrance. Hence, Kyoka expects that the humanoid has created a home inside that cave, so she tells Commander Tenka to go inside. Pressing her knuckles, Tenka believes it to be her first time feeling as if her boyfriend is snatched away from her. Later, Kyoka asks them to wait for Shushu's signal and avoid the unnecessary fight while keeping Yuki their priority. And if humanoids come in between, follow the Supreme Commander's rules for pushing a dialogue. Adding to that, Kyoka mentions if they do not sit on this, then the battle is inevitable. Suddenly, the ambush attack by the enemy reaches to ground, and Azuma burns them all to crisp with her magic, as she prioritizes the hostage. She calls everyone to applaud for Coco, while Sahara mocks her for blasting the cave open. As Coco attacks her, Sahara with her brutal strength throws Kuma with Coco in the air. Upon mentioning she is covering this field with Shushu, they ask them to move ahead to retrieve Yuki. Afterward, noticing this Mado cave to be a lot different than any other, they find it to be cramped up with no peaches around. Though Tenka has his vision restricted, he asks if he can try teleporting them ahead. But that is where a spider Shuki falls before them, as Himari and Azuma take care of this enemy. Izumi takes Kyoka with her through teleportation. While Azuma intends to have the Death by Azuma edition for these guys, Himari asks her sister to wrap this up before the commanders arrive. Furthermore, Aoba asks Yuki to stay inside so they can deal with the commotion outside. Surprising Aoba with Kyoka, Tenka takes Yuki away through her teleportation, followed by pulling Kyoka back. Hiding in a cave, Kyoka asks if they hurt him while telling that she won't rest until this is all over. Suddenly, she starts inserting his finger in her mouth deep while shocking him. though he remembers it being the price to track him down, but to his surprise, Tenka joins in. Upon asking, Tenka mentions rewarding him for serving all by himself. Moreover, they mention collecting others through teleportation and hopping back to the dorm. Intervened by Oba, they jump into action. Suddenly, Yuki stops Aoba from charging and explains to them that she is his sister. Afterward, Nei takes care of the dorm, cooking, and doing the chores to keep herself from worrying about them all. While Coco is making Sahara and Shushu dance on their top toes while quoting, "It is kill or be killed." A woman with wings watches over their battle from above. On the other hand, Himari and Azuma are busy killing Shuki, who doesn't stop coming at all. Even Yuno praises Azuma's ability to hit without so much as a glance. Moreover, Azuma commands Himari to learn from her elder sister as she wishes to be as magnificent as her. However, Yuno finds Himari to be clumsy with her attacks without understanding her powers. Afterward, Kyoka thinks of them studying thoroughly about the effects, while Tenka believes in having no idea about Ombu's inhuman atrocities behind the scenes. Hearing this, Hyoka decides to blow up the bureau if that happens to come close to the truth, whereas Oba, with a hint of an evil smirk, states that she would kill anyone who would come in her way. And after knowing Oba's plans on using Shukin, Kyoka mentions it will hurt a lot of people on the way. Describing them as victims too, Yuki steps in while asking his sister to trust them. However, Oba mentions them for treating him like a petty slave in some chain. But Yuki abruptly exposes that it has been his decision since long ago to be a hero. Revealing how she desires to save her friends, Yuki promises to give his all to stop them. While apologizing, Izumi tells him that the whole force is doing the same thing. Out of the blue, Oba wraps Yuki in her hair and puts him aside, while mentioning to be out of harm's way. Calling Kidamura, Tenka assigns the unicorn to Kyoka. With that, Tenka mentions herself as Yuki's girlfriend and 6th Squadron Commander to Oba, while calling herself sister-in-law. Well, as expected, that is enough to pop Oba's veins out in fury, as she plans on slaughtering Tenka. While Coco rampaging towards Sahara and Shushu, she throws Sahara to her beast, but Shushu holds the beast as if it is a little hamster. There she wishes to crush it into pieces, but she ends up smashing it on the ground instead and stomps on it later. However, he jumps right back beside Coco. She gets impressed and even calls him invincible, while she mentions her being slimy. Adding to that, she tells them that hitting her is pointless. Coco finds herself to be the worst enemy they have ever asked for. On the other hand, Azuma is hitting Akira with Golden Hour. She is suddenly a slash away from having her neck chopped off by the blade. Having her clothes cut, she notices Himari against a woman in Shuki as she spits blood out. Seeing the horrifying scene, she calls out to her sister. Somewhere around in the Mado cave, a purple-headed woman with snakes as hair is lying naked in her pool, while holding her snake closer. She is informed by a white-haired winged woman that she discovered what she is searching for. Moreover, she mentions that they are battling with the demon defense forces, so Shikoku believes it is the right time to introduce themselves as gods. Putting her tongue out, she reveals how she is going to start by announcing that her holiness has arrived before them, while she believes them to bow down instantly, as it is time for them to start respecting their existence. Shikoku, with her adorable face, asks how she sounds like saying it. However, she mentions to Shikoku that it is totally devoid of dignity, while waiting for her to step out right away. While that is happening, the winged one promises her to make them look divine in front of the demon defense force upon reaching there. With that, she passes a devilish smile when hearing such a good strategy. She asks her if they shall give them a visit now. Suddenly, the sky turns purple like a giant amethyst enveloping the world like a blanket. This shadowy decor is wrapping the demon defense force's form in a more gloomy look than it already is. Meanwhile, Nei is stressing over thinking about Miss Shushu, Miss Himari, Commander Kyoka, and Mr. Yuki. Joining her hands to pray over the gallery, she wishes everyone's safe return home. Not gonna lie, with a sky like that, praying to God would be the best option. Out on the battlefield, it is Chaos Central where Yuki is currently at with his sister. Moreover, Oba's hair looks like a pretzel. Looks like this guy just likes being in a bit of a pickle. In the meantime, Commander Kyoka and Izumo are duking it out with Aoba and her sidekick beast, Hidemaru. So get ready as we are about to dive into some intense smackdown followed by an upcoming strange visitor. The rage burning in her eyes, Aoba shouts to let the battle begin while attacking first. However, on the other side of the battle, Kyoka manages to land a blow on the beast while shrugging the blood away from her sword. Thinking how surprisingly calm she feels, She remembers her hitting the shower as she learns about Yuki being snatched from her eyes. She desires to find some time to calm herself down before betting their team's life on the line in a slave's rescue mission. So she yells out that she can take whatever blow is coming at her with a raging spirit. With that, she charges in with a raging fire inside to beat the crap out of this grim-faced trash can, while compensating with less firepower without Yuki. Hence, wielding her powers solo, she is determined to pass judgment over this beast before her while deciding for how long he is permitted to breathe. On the other side, Izumo is having a go with Aoba as she tries to suck her inside the void. Looks like Yuki's so-called girlfriend has some tricks up her sleeves, ready to amaze Aoba. But to Izumo's surprise, Aoba bounces all the way with her superhuman speed as she makes it harder to pinpoint her. However, Izumo decides to hit a wider area as she does not wish to take any chances. Aoba seems to be getting all pumped up, so she devours another peach before Izumo while claiming to beat her ass. Analyzing her powers, Izumo finds a resilient physique with weapons in her arsenal and a blast attack from her mouth. Moreover, she recalls manipulating her hair, and she is able to boost her powers by devouring peaches. However, she realizes her heightened senses after eating peaches as well, as she is too fast for them to catch. So Aoba is determined to tire her down, and then take her out, popping out every second. Aoba thinks of it being a war of attrition she desires while she is rooting for Kyoka to announce her win. Though outside the cave, Shushu and Sahara are found panting heavily before Coco. She suggests they give up because nothing is going to work out for them now, as she exposes herself as a slippery girl. Tired of her nagging, Shushu throws the boulder on her face while the beast, Kuma, slaps her to the ground and shoves Sahara away from his master. Out of the blue, Coco jumps out laughing as she flexes that an itsy-bitsy rock is not going to even scratch her. Grateful for the peach's slice, she mentions having her strength restored back with enchanting abilities. Worrying about their foothold in this field, they mention focusing on keeping Yuki a priority. While Coco confirms him to be Yuki Wakura, she then expresses how she licked him all over to heal him. The fire again rages inside Shushu, while imagining Yuki getting licked by them, so Coco chuckles while mentioning Yuki belongs to them now. Patting her beast, he exposes that his next targets are dead set on their commander, and then Onbyu. With excitement playing over her face, she gets fired up, as they promise to make every person be familiar with their existence. Documented by the Force, Shushu spots the massive Shuki. Recalling back, she remembers the exact same beast discovered in Mado Misshape in Kagoshima 8 years ago. With that, Shushu decides to go on with their Formation S to sweep the floor with her 2 pipsqueaks. Holding Sahara, Shushu somehow manages to paste Kuma on the floor, with Coco's jaw dropped on the floor. Confirming it, Sahara then hops on Shushu's hand as she throws Sahara towards midair, while Shushu believes in getting shrunken as well. However, they manage to rip Kuma into shreds. Coco's fury seems to have no bounds. But to her surprise, Sahara is heading towards her as Coco makes fun of their foolish attacks that are not even scratching her ear. Suddenly, it is too late for Coco to realize that Sahara has help from her Kuma's teeth as she kicks and bounces her in the air like a volleyball. Coco questions herself, how could this turn out, while Sahara is having trouble with her balance now. Whereas Shushu runs to Sahara for aid, Coco pushes out her last drop of strength to pull her pieces back to her body. On walking inside the cave, Yuno is almost close to strangling Himari. Seeing more Shuki incoming, Yuno mentions her name Hitori Shizuka, the ability to pass through humans unnoticed. Calling out to Golden Hour, someone almost nudges her back. With that, Azuma demands Himari to stay behind her. Counting the amount she used this on, she is searching for a humanoid. Himari manages to rescue her sister, Azuma, from Yuno's bloodthirsty and sneaky attempt. Hence, Himari mentions that it is now her time to save her mother. Himari believes in luring the enemy out, while Azuma asks her to create an ultimate defense by sticking close to her sister. Moreover, Azuma believes they have a slight chance of overpowering them before she strikes a pose, although she shares with Himari that there is a certain limit to her teleportation powers. Suddenly, the idea hits Himari as she explains that there is a secret way to turn the tables around. With that, Himari is more confident about her winning strategy. She asks Azuma to trust her with her words. With every hair bundle, many guns pop out of her hair, making her a peacock of guns. With a full burst, she shoots blindly in all directions as she paints a sparkling fireworks display. Looks like Himari hit the jackpot. Her unintentional target got hit by her. With the ceiling crumbling down, Yuno accepts the fact that they are effed up. Later, Azuma shows her appreciation to her little sister. Back on the battlefield, the four of them are still in a crossing battle. Suddenly, Aoba is slashed by Kyoka as she seems to be invested in the beast, but Izumo believes that she just happened to catch her off guard. Mentioning that she demands not to be the target anymore, Izumo explains that she is aware of her fighting style now, so nothing is new for her. A sudden smash with Ain no Mori, she lands a ground-shattering blow at Aoba. After this, Aoba stands up with an unsettling rage and blasts an attack on Izumo's way. As everything crumbles down by Aoba's blasting attack, Yuki notices the injured, blown away bleeding from Izumo, while she mentions her blast attack has gotten faster than before. Furthermore, Aoba mentions nicking her with her beam, but she asks the reason why Izumo hesitated to hit her when he was served with the opportunity. Stating the obvious, she mentions that if she did, then it would have hurt Yuki that she injured his elder sister. Calling it a careless mistake, she falls to the ground. Unexpectedly, Aoba gives her a jaw-dropping performance. She speaks about knowing that such people exist as well. She happily thanks her for considering Yuki's feelings. However, Izumo mentions seeing her married life flashing back with her sister-in-law in the bigger picture, while Aoba asks her to snap out of it. The tension in the air suddenly seems to be fading away. Aoba starts looking the other way if they all try to flee right away. On the other hand, Aoba expresses that she has no plan to change her old strategy, so she asks them to consider that to be still in motion. With determination, Kyoka lectures that there is no way they would step away from this battle like a bunch of cowards. All of a sudden, Koko runs to Aoba with Yuno while mentioning that they just got defeated. Noticing all her friends joining the scene, Aoba still asks if she would like to surrender. Suddenly, Nei senses something as a golden light almost hits the ground near them, while blinding their vision. Weirdly, a sudden angelic appearance flies down while holding a woman in her arms. Dramatically stunned, Shikoku mentions them to say hello to their god. Meanwhile, Aoba's deadly gaze is locked with the winged man as they share their own comebacks through the stair. Upon reaching the ground, Shikoku seems to be having it easy to pinpoint her location after the chaos she pulled. All of a sudden, the winged woman is seen to be grabbing Koko and Yuno each on one side as if they are shopping bags. However, Shikoku compliments them for having a good level of vitality to take them home. With that, Shikoku calls herself god among 8 thunder gods, the leaders of Shuki, so basically their duty is to destroy the human race into shreds. With an admirable gaze, Shikoku requests permission to worship them, while accepting them as their divine beings. Seeing Kuma charging in, Shikoku asks Joryu, the winged woman, to take care of that, as his jump seems enough to send immense air pressure a mile away. While Aoba tries to get Koko and Yuno back, suddenly Kidomaru starts tossing Aoba around like a basketball. Moreover, Shikoku mentions doing a bit of tuning of the beast with the help of her snake's poison as she stores it for killing nature. As Kidomaru rages in, Yuki flashes on the battlefield with Kyoka on top, while ordering to keep his filthy hands off of his sister. Hence, Kyoka commands her little slave, Yuki, that they will bring them to their knees together. Thus, Yuki shares the same thoughts as her master. He warns them to prepare for their funeral, as he rages on towards Kidomaru. Standing on the terrace, Nei wonders if something happened to her teammates, and the wind blows. Later, Kiyo narrates that she liked to celebrate the coming of spring when she was young. She had plans to keep living with everyone, surrounded by nature. Well, bummer, that is not how it went down, and she had her dreams crushed like your mom crushes everything that comes underneath her. Her entire hometown was destroyed by a Shuki, which is Unicorn. Coming back to the present day, Unicorn and Yuki are having a fight and struggling to bring down each other. That is when Kiyo jumps with her chains and diverts Unicorn. They are both fighting to take Unicorn down, while the others are watching them fight. A treat to our eyes, a mommy with almost nothing on her body except some metallic clothes is standing right there. Well, as expected, it is Joryu who tells Shikoku to head back. Shiko says that she will stay for a while and watch and see how it turns out to be. On the other hand, Yuki has learned how to stay focused and ends up punching Unicorn so hard that it bursts its fist. Well, that made Unicorn mad, and it upgraded itself into an even larger Shuki that Yuki is unable to handle. Unicorn attacks Yuki, and Yuki bites him like the minor high school girl bites cocks. That is when Kiyo attacks Unicorn, and Unicorn is badly injured. Yuki sees that and wraps Unicorn in his chains. Now it was time for Kiyo to get her revenge from Unicorn. She learned a specific trick to kill him, and when the moment is perfect, she strikes and kills Unicorn, remembering all the terrible things it brought to her hometown and taking everything away from her. Kiyo cuts it in half, and it falls down and dies. This entire time, Shiko was enjoying it all, as if this were some telenovela with suspense. Then, as the fight ends, Shiko goes away. Kiyo turns to Yuki and orders him to gather everyone, and like a good pet, he listens to her. She has a moment to herself and dedicates it to her hometown. On the other hand, Shiko is flying back, thinking about how good Kiyo is. Well, what interests her more is Yuki, and she licks her lips, thinking about him. How come no woman in this entire series is a bit submissive? It is so baffling. Coming back to Yuki and Kiyo, Tenka takes the girls back home, and then Yuki's older sister shows up. Yuki asks if she is okay, to which she says she can heal quickly. Then Tenka returns really quick too, to which she says she had to return because it was a family matter. Meanwhile, Nae is left in charge of seeing how the girls are treated. Kiyo asks Oba, Yuki's sister, about her intentions, and she says that she does not want to start a revolt anymore, but she wants to save Coco and Nan. Kiyo says that they won't fight anymore. After all, she was also a victim of metal mishap. So Kiyo will help Aoba save the other two while Tenka is standing on Kiyo's shoulder. Tenka says that she wants to help too. Kiyo promises her that they won't let the Yin Yang dorm mess with her. Yuki asks Aoba if she can do that, but she denies, saying that she trusts them but not their organization. Yuki exclaims that Aoba, of course, can't live here. But Aoba explains that they have other hidden villages and their comrades have evacuated there. Kiyo and Tenka agree that maybe not taking their protection is the right decision. Kiyo asks if it is about Supreme Commander Yamashiro, because if what Yin Yang Dorm says is true, then it is likely that she is colluding with them. Yuki is confused as to what is happening, to which Tenka explains that the Supreme Commander is very patriotic, but she has a scary personality. She says that at that time she could not attack Aoba, but if it were the Supreme Commander, she would have attacked her. So, for now, staying hidden is the safer choice for Aoba. They are lucky that their conversation can't be heard from the outside. Kiyo says that she has to look into the Yin Yang dorm too. Then Yuki asks how long his sister and the others have to stay hidden. On the other hand, Nae is standing outside, waiting for Tenka, Kiyo, and Yuki to return. As they return, Nae runs and hugs Yuki, saying that she is glad to see him safe. Kiyo asks Nae about Shushu and Himari, to which she says that she is told they will return in 2 or 3 days. Then Tenka says that she will head out and get some treatment while checking Himari and Shushu as she is on it. As she is heading back, Yuki stops Tenka, and Tenka says that he can repay her when they are alone next time. The heaven of seeing the wet Victoria's secrets about so many mommies must be insane for him. Some luck he has. Later, Nae tells Kiyo that she will go to deliver a change of clothes for Himari and Shushu, and she tells Kiyo to change and get freshened up too. Kiyo asks Yuki to stand by and ask her if there is an enemy attack right away. With that said, Kiyo leaves, and Nae asks Yuki if he is hungry. But Yuki just sounds frowny, to which Nae asks if he is hurt. Yuki tells her that he is just worried about the others. But Nae assures him that their healers are really skilled, and they will all be recovered in just a few days. That still does not assure Yuki, who Nae walks up to and says that if something were to happen, he has to work hard to make up for the others. She grabs his hand and tells him to eat and cheer up. That makes Yuki feel better, and Nae rushes to get some food for him to eat and feel better. Then Kiyo returns from her shower and turns him back into his human form. She tells him to wash himself first before accepting his reward. He better shower quickly, cause we are all waiting here for the reward. Yuki says that he will come to her room while blushing and sweating. Here comes the fun part. Yuki lays on the bed with just his boxers on, and Kiyo comes with some hot red lingerie and sits on top of him. She goes closer to him while he is nervous and tells him that sleeping together is his reward. Then Kiyo kisses him, touching his body against hers, and she lays down. Well, she remembers that because of fatigue he can't move his body much, which she has a solution for, certainly not riding him. She starts to massage his body and angrily says that he listened to his sister instead of her and got caught. Being a good boy, he says sorry right away while she is still making his entire body crack. Kiyo knows that his sister used wrestling moves on him, and now this is just a start because she will be doing the same for him. It shows from Yuki's face that he is scared to see what is going to come next and does not know how to accept this. After that chiropractor session Kiyo gave Yuki, they both fell asleep together, and maybe that was his reward. They had us in the first half. On the other hand, Naon and Coco are lying unconscious on the floor, while Shiko, Ju, and Raren are standing above them. They will feed them to a god that needs to be fed to grow up. This monster sounds more like a toddler. Shiko knows that this would make the god stronger, and then the god comes and eats both of them. As the god devours its meal, Shiko says that their new comrade will be ready soon enough. After a few days, there is a feast prepared by Yuki for the girls. He says that he made it all with his heart to celebrate everyone's discharge from the hospital. Well, all of the girls are so happy to see the feast because it does look so delicious. Yuki offers to make ramen as well. They all settle down to start the feast and raise their glasses. Kyo turns to Yuki and says that since he is the protagonist, he should make the toast. He sure was not expecting that and just said thanks to everyone in his toast. With that done, everyone starts eating the food. Yuki made like a good housewife. Tenka asks Kyo teasingly that she should give Yuki to her, and Kyo says that she is just being stubborn. Then Himari and Shushu tell him that they forgot to say this, but he is welcome home. His eyes get teary and he says he is home. Later, at night, he remembers what Kyo said when he asked about how long his big sister has to hide. Kyo says that he just has to wait till she becomes the Supreme Commander, and she will change the policy of the Demon Defense Force and all Shuki will be eliminated. Suddenly, the ground starts rumbling and Alba hands Yuki something that looks like a deflated bunny and says she will always be watching over him. Then Alba left, and they all returned too. Coming back to the present day, Yuki knows that he will continue fighting for his sister. Previously, he had to become a hero, but now he will save his sister. The next morning, Tenka comes to his room and wakes Yuki up by laying down on him. That is exactly when Kyo showed up. Haha, wrong timing. Then Tenka leaves as soon as she sees Kyo, and Yuki tells her that she was just here for a short while. That certainly does not stop Kyo from spanking Yuki. After that, Himari and Shushu attended Yuki, and he already looked tired. Then Himari tells him the reason she called him, which is that she wants to become stronger and more helpful to the commander. Himari asks him to lend her his strength, and he gladly does so. On the other hand, Shushu did some research on the internet and found that the art of war can be applied to love. And she knows that if she does not use her head, she will lose this war. Suddenly, Nei informs them that a gate has appeared and they should prepare to depart. Nei also tells them that there are Shukis gathering around it, and as of now, there are no victims. They all rush to the battleground to crush the Shukis. Kyo narrates that this is the story of her becoming the Supreme Commander. Alongside, Yuki narrates that this is the story of how he becomes a hero. On the other hand, Oba promises herself that she will find Coco and Naon, no matter what. Well, good luck with that because they have been eaten.